And we're back with some more towers. Sorry, we're working a lot, so I get tired. I get tired playing the tower. Good? Okay, go. Don't blink, it's your wink. Welcome to the Contour Show. Guess we're doing well, having a wonderful day on this 18 April 2025. As you can see, we have a beautiful sunrise. Oh, I forgot to turn on the camera for the nature quarantine. Thank God I checked. We have my chair here, which means, okay, well, why is it here? Because we got a brand new chair for my father. He was saying, like, hey, the chair that you were using, I have an old chair. Why didn't you ask? And it's just this chair. So this one has a what we call it, a backrest. We have my snack, ficellos, and energy drink. I was supposed to go to sleep, but it's just beautiful outside, so let's take advantage of it, right? Anyway, love you guys, take it easy. Peace. Hey, completely forgot. There's my eye, fully. Okay, there you go, perfect. We take a quick picture for you guys. Don't blink, it's your wink. Welcome to Contour Show. It's doing well on this 18th April 2025. As you can see, it's really early in the morning. We got my new chair. We're having all the places. We have the clips, the playthrough. We're missing a snack. So today's snack is going to be Black Diamond, Ficello. We're going to go with Extreme Pizza. So these are kind of newish. Ficello was like, hey, what can we do for, what can we do with seller stuff? So they made the Extreme. I believe Extreme is 3 flavor. I know there's pizza, jalapeno, and I forgot that last one. To be quite honest. However, we are eating Extreme Pizza. So there is a little bit of a description. I'm excited for that. Yes, we're starting odd because I'm pretty tired. I'm supposed to go to sleep, but it's so nice outside. I want to make some cool videos. Made with 100% real cheese. Any way you string in Black Diamond cheese strings, Extreme snacks always promise to be fun, nutritious. With no subtle flavor or artificial color and flavor, and no preservative. There's only one rule for Black Diamond cheese string: always play with your food. Okay. I see what you did there. Nice. I don't have story for Ficello. I think most people do. I love them for sure. But my family was more so a Baby Bell family. And Baby Bell, it was kind of like the same thing. So there was also cheese, but there was also what they could play with. So yeah, we were definitely more of a Baby Bell family. However, everybody else in school was a Ficello kid. We make your boy wanted to be a Ficello kid. This is what it looks like. You can see, and I know what you're saying. Okay, ink, we're clearly seeing the topping, we're clearly seeing the extreme part of it. But if you take your time and really look at the Ficello, it's a bit more yellowish. So I'm hoping that this means that they cook it together. Look at this bad boy, that's really nice. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get a good taste of pizza. And it's smart because a pizza, most of them are gonna be a cheese pie. So there's already this mentality of there's cheese. So cheese and pizza is not hard to sell. Really good. There's a weird aftertaste though. There's a weird aftertaste. It's like, you know, tomato paste. It's chemical. Super nice. Once again, this is extremely healthy. 60 calories per stick. A lot of calcium, a lot of proteins. It's always good. This is quite nice. The taste is quite nice, but I would still say go with the original. Because these are good right now. But I can already tell that if I ate 4 or 5, I get tired of it. The original I can eat a whole bunch of them. Now, why is that important? It's just because, I don't know, to me, I'd rather have a long-lasting experience than a short-lasting one. Which is a decision. Once again, the camera stopped. What the heck? Camera stop. I am so sorry, guys. The camera keeps stopping. I don't know why. Here it is. Look how beautiful this is. This is a gorgeous morning. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the Contour Show. You guys are doing well. We're having a wonderful 18th April 2025, the day of Easter. We are set, guys. We have a new chair, which we can lean on, which is nice. The tree tower, and the clips. We're going to be working on clips also. Today, we are talking about nature. And I know what you're saying. Thank you. You're starting to do a nature video every single week. Now, I feel like, because some people will say that, I have to justify myself, right? Look at this. Are you kidding me? This is so beautiful. I feel, once again, I mentioned this before, but I really feel like us not taking advantage of the fact that it was a really nice weather when I was younger. Not sweater. When I was younger, and again, it was forced upon me to go outside, so when it's forced upon you, you don't really want to go there. But I'm in a mentality of where it's never too late to appreciate that. But it is kind of late because this city that I live in really changed, right? So as I went out more, I would have better memories of what a city used to be. Now, ultimately speaking, what purpose does it serve to know the city when it's changing? There's no purpose. It's just a feeling. For example, you're gonna see kid grow, right? You're gonna see kid grow. You're gonna see job changes. There'll be cool changes, right? New rules, different rules, and this is seeing a city grow, right? And see, part of life to me is adaptation, right? You adapt yourself to a new situation and new thing that's going on, right? And I think the city in itself adapt itself in a growing business or a growing market because there's more and more people. But if those more and more people don't equate a higher spending, then those companies will not last. And again, the fact that Lachine is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, what's really nice about it is that there's a company that would have said before, hey, this is too small of a town for us to move in. Now they're going to say that. So I think it's just phenomenal. I think it's just so cool that we got that because you know the nature. Let's go back to it. I feel like I'm preaching, but I definitely should have went out a little bit. You know, when I was younger, I would go out for sure, but then there's a large period that I didn't go out, right? Do I regret that? Not really. But I'm seeing how much it helps the psyche, emotional. I'm seeing how beneficial it is long term, and just that it helped us. Like I'm gonna be honest. I was supposed to go sleep. You can tell me I'm tired a little bit. I was supposed to go sleep last night. There was, however, a really nice moon. I took a picture of it. And because we saw the picture, we saw the moon, and I was like that. But after that, it's like, okay, well, let's stay awake. Because anyway, this morning is gonna be rain. Are you seeing rain? No, there's no rain. So now we're working on adrenaline and coffee. But we're still good here. So yeah, it's nature. Now, ultimately speaking, nature was it's tough. Am I still recording? I'm still recording. Noise. Am I still recording here? Yes, we're still recording. Noise. It is kind of complex. It is kind of like it's something new because I'm aware that the content has really changed thanks to nature, right? My perception, the way we see things, a lot of the nature that I did, which is really nice because it's outside. You guys love the night stroll because I'm myself and I'm not worried about what people think about me because there's nobody on the road, right? And that was a change for the nature. Now, last year, it was a big nature porn was a huge part of why we did a burnout. Last week we had snow, right? And there was a blackbird on the snow. And it was a beautiful picture. And then by the time I got my camera and I ran outside, it was gone. Like I didn't get the picture right. Then I was like, what a missed opportunity. And I was kind of disappointed, if you will. Of course, annoyed is also a good word, right? And then for the next couple of hours, I'm like, ugh, that would have been so cool, right? But then at the same time, it would have been so cool, but this ruined what was the perfect day, you know? And it's I fucked up. What did I do? I fucked up, yeah. Okay. Yeah. We really did fuck up. It's okay though. Hold on, guys. Just trying to find something. Did I find it? I think I found it. Yep. So Microsoft. Because we had a celebration for 50 years. No. God damn it. See, this is how crazy it gets. This is kind of not wanted, but it is the perfect case. It is the perfect imagery. Why? Well, because you get stuck in there. Like no matter the video, I'll do it one day or the other, and there's no real consequences until and only until there is a for example, there's the consequences. Oh, I was thinking about this video. I took a note for this video. Right? And it's been so long, I don't remember what is the video in itself. So that's a problem. Because again, you're supposed to remember what you're talking about, but it doesn't always happen. This is too far. Good. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go with history. So history will tell me what we did, right? And there we go. That's perfect. That is perfect. We had a okay, I think it's this one, right? So with the nature, it was always a shame because this I can't control. I missed like for example, I missed the Aurora Borealis, right? And for so freaking long, I was like, oh my god, I missed it. But then at the same time, who gives a shit if you missed it? That's not gonna change life. That's not gonna be the end all be all of everything, right? It just sucks. But it was a big case of in a big sense of why we kind of did a burnout because we were too focused on doing everything at the same time, right? Right now we're doing everything at the same time, but it was a big problem. Now, ultimately speaking, it doesn't really matter, right? Ultimately speaking, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it matters what happened today. As long as you're good, what happened yesterday is, you know, you learn from mistake, you learn from the event of your life, and that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. So, in the same way, I think it's actually a really cool thing that is going on right now. Is we're seeing a lot of nature porn, and of course, it's more exciting because we just got it back, right? But there's also the intention of, well, am I gonna go too far, right? A couple of months ago, I was in a position of, okay, we're starting to make content again. Do I go too far and do another burnout like last year? Or do I keep it in reserve? And the reality is, I didn't do any of this. In some cases, I did a lot of videos. Some cases, I did a lot of videos. It's very unstable, right? Now, it does beat making videos every single day, but not really because we work hard. We work really hard. So, for example, today, We're sacrificing sleep right now. I'm still gonna be sleeping 8 hours, but the content's gonna be affected because well, I'm gonna sleep 8 hours. Let's say I go to bed at 9, then I have to wake up at 3. I have to text my girl. Then I'm gonna be able to work out. But then that's 5. The sunset is gonna be at 7. So I have an hour to work out. I have an hour to do my mukbang and do my videos. That way we still have the natural light, right? So it's a bit complex, but at the same time, I do like working in a stressful environment, right? So that's pretty much it. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I regret. It's nuts. It's not because I'll be completely honest. Again, you know me, I try to be honest. If it wasn't for the cloud, it would be a normal sun. I wouldn't care if I missed it, right? But then I'm happy I did because it's really nice, right? So it's you don't miss it when nothing happened, but you miss it when something happened, and that's just the you know. When I was younger, I used to see a show. I don't remember the show, but it was a show about tornado hunter. They were going after tornado, right? And people were waiting for season 2, and it never came out. Well, it came out years later, and people were like, "What took so long?" And I'm like, "There's not a tornado every single day. What are you expected to do?" You know, they were right. But then when there's a tornado, they go to hunt it. I thought it was crazy because I was like, imagine having this passion. Or for example, right, bird watcher. I'm listening to a lot of bird right now. There's also bird watcher, and they'll see birds, and they'll see birds, and then they'll have the collection, right? And they'll say, okay, well, I'm looking for this bird in particular, right? And then they'll see birds that are beautiful, but they've already seen it, and they won't pay attention. So you're constantly hunting for that new feeling, right? And within nature, it affects you constantly chasing because you're not satisfied. For example, we're on Netflix, right? Instead of having one episode every single week, I have the whole season out. So why would I watch only one episode, right? Well, because if I watch one episode and I have to wait, I get to appreciate the waiting time. I'm like, oh yeah, last week was really good. Oh, you know what? Last week wasn't good. I hope this week is better. You know? So you're creating this this almost salvage, where this anticipation, where what's gonna happen, versus you know what? Let's play the next episode, right? So when Netflix came, and again, we're still talking about nature, but when Netflix came, we saw a huge difference in society. People were binge watching series. They were spending 2 or 3 days watching their favorite show and binge watching that. It never happened in the past. You would have DVDs, but it never happened in the past. You know? That's crazy. That's crazy to think about it, right? Now, with a DVD, why is it not the same thing? Well, the DVD kind of knew how much time it was. Versus the Netflix series, you don't know what time it is. Like, so for example, right, I'm watching this movie, and then this movie is 2 hours, 2 hours, and now it's 10:30, and it was going to end at 9:30, right? So I can plan before that. But then if I start saying, you know what, let's watch another episode, and let's watch another episode, and then you forget how many episodes you watch. It doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes each or 40 minutes each, you just watch 10 of them. That's 200 minutes, which is 3 hours and a half, right? Which is insane. But then at the same time, you know, you have so much content out of it. Because you're enjoying yourself. It doesn't matter if you enjoy yourself over the next few months or you enjoy yourself in one day. You still get to enjoy yourself. The amount of pleasure you'll get from watching a show doesn't change if you're watching it from 1 month or 1 week. Yes, there's anticipation, like I said, there's a feeling of what's going to happen, there's the excitement, you're going to be able to talk about it with your friends. Right? But at the same time, it doesn't matter because ultimately speaking, those are other emotion. We're talking about the emotion of enjoying or enjoyment, and this is the same, no matter what. No matter what. You know? So that's pretty much it. See, I keep on fucking up. Because I'm pushing my tits. Yes, we have boobs. So I'm going to end the video here. But just enjoy nature, guys. It is a beautiful thing. Okay, so this is messed up. My fucked up brain. Going to the vein can only put so much on my fucked up pain, and the pills that I've been taking just accentuate the pain. So I built my own wooden home to rest my felt frame. After all this was said, there's only one time, there's only tomorrow. Whoa, gets to be what I want to be. Say what's on my mind. Be a better man. Fucking learn to socialize, but I won't. But maybe one day. Okay, so now what is that? Okay, so now. Okay. Okay, that's good. Found it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, go. Fucking learn to socialize, but I won't. but maybe one day. Okay. So we don't get enough value, but still. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to Controversial, because we're also having a wonderful day on this 18 April 2025. Happy Saint Friday. There has to be a better name for that, but it's the Friday before Easter. So it's a special date. Today we're doing, as you can tell, we're doing a lot better. Now, mostly because we're fatigued, but still doing better. So the reason as to why we're doing better and a lot better is actually quite simple. So if you guys don't know, we were doing so well last couple of days, but you know, it's not emotional. You can see me taking a lot of breaks from social media when it's emotional, because I have a hard time managing emotion, right? And I'm not saying the situation is better, I'm not saying that it's good, right? But there are some updates that are quite positive. Look at this. This is gorgeous. So what I'm trying to say here, not very successfully, is there is some updates. So situation, I'm going to recap because this has been 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I received a bill from the postal office, and it was the government. And basically, what we're saying is I wasn't allowed to get unemployment because I did quit the job, which is not true. The company closed. They want me to relocate, but it wasn't obligated. They can't force a person to relocate. They can't force them. Right, so now they want me to pay back $13,000, right? And the first day I was shook. I was absolutely shocked because nobody expected that, right? And then on the second day, which was yesterday, still a bit pissed because again we called the government, but the government called. It went really well. It was very helpful. Today we're doing so good. We're doing a lot better. Well, I'm a bit more confident about the case. I'm a bit more confident. I did some research online of similar cases. I know the law. This is the trick. I know the law, but I know people, right? And I know how they react. So what happened, what pushes this reaction, right? Not about understanding the situation, about understanding people involved in it, right? For example, two people fight, right? Now, one of them, has a tendency to fight, and one of them doesn't have a tendency to fight. So you would be pushed to think that the one that had a tendency to fight is the culprit. Now you're assuming, but you're able to read the situation, if you're able to read the why, if you're able to read, it's classic. So it's the classic situation from Last of Us, where Joel kidnapped two people, and he gave them both a map. It's like, circle this, and if you guys didn't, if you don't have the same answer, I'll kill you both, right? So then what happened is one of the guys doesn't want to give the answer, and then one of the guy gives the answer. Now the importance isn't that he gave the answer; it's the importance that he was weaker, right? So that's good to read the situation. So I saw similar cases. I saw the people that were in it, right? What they did wrong, what they did right. So I'm a bit more experienced with the case, or a similar case at least. Of course there's some problem, of course. Like for example, I went to my father's house yesterday, and I felt like he was willing to give up. He wanted to pay the bill, and ultimately speaking, I might have to pay the bill. But if I can avoid paying the bill, which is $13,000, which is money I don't have, and it's not because it's a lot of money. It's because I do not think personally. I don't think personally that I am guilty, or that I am at fault here. I don't believe that I am at fault. I believe that if I was to contest, I cannot guarantee a victory, but I would have at least a decent chance of going in, because I would know what I'm talking about. Versus, well, I'm just going in and I'm praying because it doesn't work, right? We did see the guys yesterday. Now, seeing the guys from work yesterday was nice to see them, but it was disastrous because, again, it's people and how they're feeling, right? So basically, this guy is mad, this guy is not mad, right? This guy wants to sue, this guy's like, no, what can we do? Who's willing to pay? Who can pay? That's also a problem. Not everybody. So because basically what happened is some people, they took the 5 months, people they took the 9 months, which is the maximum, by the way. So the amounts that they need to pay is different. So I have a $13,200 to pay, $13,300.02 to pay, right? One of my friends has $16,000. Right? Another one has 12,800. But most of them have around 13 or 14,000. Right? Let's say 13,500 just to be fair. Right? So a lot of people. It didn't sound like a. I hope it doesn't sound racist, but it's so complicated because some of those guys, they don't speak French, they don't speak English. So then I kind of know the situation because I did. I used unemployment before. Right? It's a system that is there to help you. But if you're from a different country, you might not know of it, and because you don't know of it, you're not going to take advantage of it. When I say taking advantage of it, I'm not saying taking advantage in the sense of defrauding the system or frauding the system, but this is a system that is there to help you. So it's your chance, it's your choice to accept the help or not, right? So then I have the situation of what I understand, but then I have this other guy who was explaining, and I'm like, dude, did you really explain what I'm saying, or do you think when you explain what you wanted to say, right? And that's a big difference. But you know what? At the end of the day, it did well. You see, I had a hard time. It's nuts. It's nuts because whenever I'm taking a break from social media, it's rarely because I'm tired. It's most likely because I'm dealing with shit, right? I don't think I took it. I took a couple of breaks from social media, to be honest, a couple, right? But there was never a case, or there was never something in the optic of, hey, I'm just lazy, right? I try to take a break, which is possibly bad. I don't think I've ever taken a day off just to take a day off. I always think it was for a reason in particular, which was mental health. And this one, this is odd because it is a mental health situation, because it's how you handle stress, you handle the situation, but it's also about having your chair and having my back on it is freaking phenomenal. I have no clue how good this feels. It's also the case of, it's material. Like there's the original shock. Like when you think about it, the 3 days is normal. The first day I received the bill, I'm like, holy shit, what am I supposed to do? Second day I'm like, okay, well, let's try to figure out a solution, right? And now it's like the dust settled. I still owe the money, right? I'm still gonna contest it, but at the same time, yesterday I was complaining because those guys, they were trying to help me, but by trying to help me, they really didn't help at the same time because there was so much of confusion that you're like, dude, like this is we're going around in a circle, right? Or my father that wants to give up, or my mom came in like a hero. She's like, pay the amount, and then if pay the amount right now, then we don't get interest, right? And then if we contest it, we're going to be able, they'll give you a reimbursement, right? And at the same time, yes, I think this is the best solution. But I had 3 people telling me or trying to help me in a different way, right? We called the government. We made every single, we followed every single step we could, right? Which was important. But most of all, which is the absolute most important thing, is I had people having my back. Like, for example, I went to shout out Anna, you know who you are, but Anna was there and she was like, hey, you haven't been live today, what's going on? And it's funny because she was spamming me, because I usually answer, right? And I spam her a lot, so she's like, hey, and that made me laugh, so, and it's understandable that you have people in your life. And it's weird because you always think that you always have people in your life, right? I've had people in my life for a while. But there's new people, right? So it's kind of complex, but in the same time, it's not. So for example, I'm thinking somebody like Janice, or I think somebody like Carl, somebody like Chow. I know them for years, right? Janice, I know him for the least, and I know him since July. I want to say 2023. Yeah, July 2023. The other day, they know me, and it's friendship, so it's normal. But at the same time, it's not like I have to constantly prove myself to them. It's more a case of, oh, we know how you are, we know why you're reacting that way. It's okay. But with somebody new, you're like, okay, well, I'm still doing something good, right? People still, it's not because they know me, it's not because we're friends, it's because I do something right and you care, So that felt really nice. There's still the fact that we had a bit of cash, but even then, it's I'm really feeling good. I'm not gonna do a live today. I'm not gonna do a live because I have to go to my father's house for Easter. Then I'm gonna go to my mom's house for Easter. But it's what I'm hoping it's not is 5 stages of grief, right? 5 stages of grief being denial, anger, bargaining, lethargy, acceptance, the 5 stages of grief. And if it is, then we're in bargaining. And if we aren't bargaining, that's bad. That's bad. Because bargaining is what? Bargaining is, well, the situation could be worse, could be better. Why is it bad? Because technically speaking, the next step would be lethargy, right? Lethargy is horrible. Because lethargy is when you kind of give up, right? So that's bad. And then acceptance would be like, hey, there's no matter what, I'm gonna have to pay, so let's just pay. And again, I'm gonna repeat myself, but I don't mind paying. I mind the fact that it wasn't honest, right? Now, you guys know me. I'm not the best listener, right? Got a pretty good case of ADHD. I got a case of ADHD. What is it? Is the song of the Fun Universe? I got a bad case of ADD, I've been this way since 1983. I got a fucked up brain and a really bad attitude. Now blame it on the drug abuse. You don't want to be so close to me, cause you might see my broken heart. I am aware that I am an asshole. I really don't care about all of that. No, I'm living my life the way you want to, cause you can deny that honestly I'm just like you. I'm gonna sing the whole song. That's actually pretty good, right? And if you were here for 12 minutes, you get a little bonus, so you're welcome. You're very welcome, actually. I'm such a douche. But yeah, so of course, this is something good, right? At the end of the day, bargaining would be seemingly, so in my opinion, right? Bargaining and acceptance are the better, because out of the 5, they're the most positive, right? But acceptance, I'm afraid of it because I still believe that it's not normal that every single person that didn't take the job, every single person used unemployment, and now every single person owes money, which is dumb. We were 9 yesterday and owe money, and the total we owed was 82,000, right? Now you think about it, right? And you start to paranoid, right? And then I don't know that's a stage of grief. You start to paranoid. So the first thought is, did I miss something, right? And then you remember what they were saying in the office. They were using a lot of illegal terms. Now, were they using legal term because they were professional, or were they using legal term to make sure that they didn't have to pay us? Now, also the second part I don't appreciate is I ended this place in the 29th March 2024. Technically speaking, we finished on the 30th, but we finished on the 30th because we went to a party, right? So the 20th, the 29th, we finished, right? And now, I don't know if you guys are good in that, right? But now we're reaching the 18th of May. I got the bill on the 6th of April, right? So exactly a year later. Now, the maximum employment you can get is 9 months, right? So why wait until I have the whole cash? Tell me after a month, hey, you're not eligible. Please reimburse the month that you owe us. Don't wait until it's finished and then, oh, well, you owe 13,000, right? Because who has that kind of money, right? Now, I'm lucky because like my parents, right? And even then, they'll lend me the money. And yes, I'll have to pay them back. But if you give me the choice between paying back my parents or government, I'm going to pay back my parents, right? They're a bit more flexible with shit like that. And I'm guaranteed no interest, right? So we're doing good, we're doing better. It's not perfect, but we're doing better. So now we're letting the dust fall back. And the good part about letting the dust fall back is at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what we did. It doesn't really matter how it happens. It matters that people were there to help me. It mattered that we might find a solution. It mattered that the solution might not be the best one, but at least we found it together, right? I'd rather lose. And it's kind of crazy because that's when you understand the principle of teamwork, right? I don't mind losing if we're working together. If we're not working together, then I'm losing. And I'm losing so much more than just something. I'm losing because of I didn't get some help. I could have won, but I didn't trust anybody, right? Now, knowing that there's so many people behind me, and those people that are behind me, right? They're not gonna mind if I lose the case. they're not gonna mind if I lose the case. They're gonna say, well, you know what, you'll know next time. It's a big deal for the money. It's not a big deal that you made a mistake. People make mistakes, right? So those, but it doesn't matter the fact that they forgive you or not. They still showed up, right? And the fact that they show up means that you're doing something good. So we're trying to focus a bit more on the positive. And this is for not the positive. So there you go. This is the recap of what's going on. This is the third day, mental health, doing much better. And that is pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink, it's your Wayne, welcome to the commercial. That's doing well on this 17th April 2025. Today we're reviewing a movie. Today we're reviewing Blue Beetle with the guy, with Miguel from Cobra Kai and George Lopez. Sadly, I don't know the other person or the other people name. I know they're pretty famous. The bad guy, the villain. She's pretty famous. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. So Blue Beetle. I'm gonna be starting the review with some information that's gonna discredit me. I don't know if it's Marvel or it's DC. I'm gonna say DC because I do remember him talking to the Justice League, which is basically DC, right? It's like the Avenger of DC. So the movie itself is a mismatch for me. It's a mixed bag for me. I do think there's a lot of really cool scenes. The fighting is really well done. I really did like that movie. The action is fun. The principle of what you call it? The principle of look at this, the cloud is so nice. The principle of okay, well, we're together in this. The Latin heritage in the movie was a bit too cringe for me. It's like always like, oh, we're, speaking Spanish, oh, where the Reyes, it felt a bit much for me, right? But at the same time, it's part of the heritage of Black Beetle, right? It's like Wakanda Forever. It's all about culture, it's all about, and that's something that we're missing, right? And ultimately speaking, I want to see a movie, even if I don't want to get the culture, even if I think that sometimes it's a bit cringe, I want to see something that they feel is representative of the culture, or, because again, it's not Al Jordan, it's freaking, Jamie Reyes. I remember the name, which is crazy. The fighting scene, really well done. Of course, the star of the show is Cobra Kai guy, but he has some training, so it's obvious. The fighting scene, there's a kind of parts that are also cringe. Like, for example, hey, look at my power, right? Then you have to remember that this is a superhero movie. If I was a kid, I would fall in love with that. I would be in love with the fact that, oh, they're so cool. Now we don't have that, so I'm gonna have to go in charge of phone. If you don't mind, of course. Take a couple seconds, and then we'll do something else. I have a plan. I have a emergency solution. So the movie is great. I really did like it. When I was looking at it, it was a bit. Like I said, if I was like younger, I would appreciate more. There's some scene that I felt like, oh, do we really need this, right? But at the same time, the movie was good in itself. I really did enjoy the movie. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The fact that you have an armor, the fact that you're trying to get it's very cliche. Let's just say, oh, you get this alien technology. We saw this a million times, right? But then again, I feel, and as much as I fucking hate it, the fact that they're so close because like, all of family. It's like there's a reason why people make fun of Fast and Furious. I'm trying to look for the battery pack. Alright, okay, cool. There's a reason why people made fun of Vin Diesel's family. Because it's a bit cringe. And you hate it, but then you look back at the movie and like, yo, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. What I really enjoyed was the mixture between George Lopez. I was born in the 90s, so I was supposed to know the guy, but I don't know the guy. I think George did a really good job because he's funny. Nothing against the kid from Karate Kid. Is he super funny? He doesn't strike as comedian to me, right? I'm sure he's a good dude. I'm sure he's an incredible dude, but doesn't strike as comedian to me. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. My bad, dude. But we did really, really good. And once again, I think I was talking about Black Panther before, right? And people can say, oh, non-traditional white. But there is a truth to that, right? So we're seeing the culture, and I think it does a lot. So, for example, Black Panther, right? It did so much for the culture in general because it was an all-black cast, right? I don't remember if there was like possibly one or two white actor, but it was predominantly black actor, colored actor, right? So of course the culture of is gonna be put forward. I think it's a really good thing. I think we need pieces like that, pieces that we really care about. We really care about. Like for example, the very memeable Wakanda Forever, right? It was sweet. It pertains to this country, right? I was watching it when I went to see Wakanda Forever. I was with my bro Shao and his nephew, which is I'm not gonna say his name because he's young and I don't want to, But we went to the movie and he was saying like Wakanda Forever, and I was like, wow, this is so cool, dude. And they're Filipinos, and the kid said to Shao, what is the Wakanda Forever for Philippine? And it was sweet because it's a different culture and you want to embrace it, you want to represent it. So it was really something cool to see. So great movie. Is it my favorite? Not really. It's good, but at the same time, I think one of my problems is when is the time that I saw a superhero movie? I actually enjoyed it. It's been a long ass time. I think it's a genre. For example, right? Talk about Fast and Furious. Now, Fast and Furious, I'm not a big fan of Fast and Furious. However, I do think they're good movies, right? And if I was more of a fan of racing cars movie, maybe that would be my favorite movie, right? It's a different thing. Okay, so now you're gonna get the battery. Okay, so perfect. We'll do both. Okay, perfect. Okay. So now, what we are gonna do is gonna switch phone. You feel better when you wake up. Off your makeup. Instead of the world away. And there's more to some way. It's like you're so there. And if you know the world away. Things are better in America. To the streets I go there. To the place someday. Sitting dream like I'm an over again. Nothing hurt, babe. Say, they're not good at you. Need to be. Me so much to blame. And they mean nothing to me. They're not gonna they're watching it changing. They're better than a million. And you're much better than us. Oh, much better than us. Oh, much better than us. Say that you're hearing. I've been watching it changing. They're better one in a million. Anyway. Don't blink, keep waiting. Welcome to the Commentary Show. It's doing well, having a wonderful day on this 18th April 2025. I'm not doing well. You guys are. Happy St. Friday. You're gonna see me watching music or listening to music. This is the only thing that's keeping me from breaking down right now, so sorry, but it is what it is. We're listening to Eden. Wake Up 1 Hour. This is a song that I used to listen to when I had a big depression at 22. So funny that we are still listening to this, right? So as you can possibly tell, or mostly at least, we're not doing well at all. Just had an hour-long conversation with my mom, and she's mad. She's really mad. I don't even feel like filming, but again, I want to see transparency. I promise you guys that I was gonna be honest, right? So I said about the 13,000 that I owe the government. Parents are mad. My mom is really mad. My father's mad. You know, and sorry guys. So we do owe $13,000 now. You know, I made a video about this morning, right? It's crazy that this is what we made today because it's so apropos, what they say in French, you know. It's so relevant to the whole situation. I was making a video this morning and talking about the third day since we learned anew and how we're feeling better, right? And then we approached the 5 stage brief, right? And this morning we also did a video on communication, right? And the social aspect of communication and understanding how people felt, and you know, it's hard. It's really hard. Because they're also going through 5 stage brief, right? Depending on the person, depending on the person's psyche and emotional, they'll have a different stressful response, right? Or a different stress response. And today we talked to my mom, and again she gave me shit for a while, and it was anger like I never seen before, you know. I couldn't even talk. I was just hammering down, and you know. And like yesterday I was talking about, I have to carry those people, you know. Yeah, so I was also carrying the coworker. Ultimately speaking, you know, they're not my direct family, or you know, they're so mad. They're so mad at the situation. They're so mad at the situation, but at the same time, you know, the three of us thought I was allowed to have an employment. I was able to, you know, none of us knew that I wasn't allowed or able to. And the company, the mother company, the HQ, they fucked me over, you know. And now I'm the asshole who had to know that I was being fucked over. I'm the asshole that owes $30,000 and cannot pay it. You know, I'm lucky I have good parents, but you know, that's my dreams, my content. But in 4 years, I have to show for it. I have an amazing community. I really love you guys, but when push comes to shove, I have to push and shove, and I just can't. I just can't. So now, and everybody surrounding me, they're like, no, this is not an opportunity for you. This is not possible. You're not gonna make it. And I tell them I'm able to make it. And the only reason we're able to make it is because we're good with money. I'm saving up. I'm taking shortcuts. I'm eating food. The food I'm eating every single day, that's ramen. That's food that I had for years. I was still working when I bought those. I was during a pandemic. So I've been able to to have a cushion. And now this cushion is out of my hand, right? And I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight so hard, and say, hey, it's possible for me to make content. It's like the way it feels like a scientist. It's like a scientist that had to discover something, right? And every single day gets closer to discovering. He finds something. There's a day where he doesn't find anything, but he's still every single day he's working. He's finding a theorem, right? He's finding a whatever the fuck I want to call it, right? A formula, right? And every day he's trying, right? And he gets super close, right? Now again, the super close is different discussion. What is super close? What isn't? And then there's another scientist that he didn't even know about. He didn't even know about scientists. And he discovered this the same formula that the other one was trying, and he discovered it on his own, right? He discovered it on his own, and then his coworker. Oh, I'm not recording. I'm not recording. The recording broke. Sorry, guys. Then his bosses, they tell them, hey, we financed your research, right? What do you have to show for it? And the guy said, well, it was super close. And then he's being told that you're not close enough to reimburse anything. Right? And then you realize that this was the work of his lifetime, And now he's freaking out. He's freaking out because he doesn't know what to do. He's freaking out because there's simply no issue or no escape, So then he has to crawl to the scientists, right? And those other scientists, they tell him, hey, remember when you failed, right? Remember when you crawled for help, right? And every single day they're hammering on him, They're hammering on him and say, hey, how are you gonna fix this? How are you gonna fix this? How are you gonna fix it? And then you realize that there's no fixing it, right? There never was able to fix it in the first place, right? And then that's it in. And you thought you were close, but were you really close, It's 4 years, and ultimately 4 years that I've learned a lot. It's 4 years I really enjoyed. But once again, when push comes to shove, what's left? What is that now? I don't know. Then what can I do? I found that amongst the guys that say from work, and I was lying to myself in a way of I have to take care of everybody, and I have to be calm, and I have to be the one to manage the situation, right? And I was seeing people that were angry, that wanted justice, that's screaming, People were fighting between them. You were fighting between them. And then you're faced with two situations. Why are they acting like that? It's stupid, right? No, it's not stupid. Because they care more than I care. This morning I was like, okay, well, I'm feeling better, I didn't even try to put the money yet. I did, but I could. But I could was, in the grand scheme of things, so little compared to the rest, right? And, I don't know. And then the mentality of the 5-stage grief, right? Comes back in. They come back in and come back in hard. Comes back in really hard. And it comes back in as a they felt the stage of grief for the anger. They felt it for a while longer. They felt it for a lot longer, you know. Like I said my mom super angry. My father being more radical and saying, okay, well, I can allow myself to be angry because I have to solve the situation, right? And then you're asking yourself, why am I not feeling angry? Is it because I'm more mature and I moved on to the stage of grief more quickly? I don't know. I don't fucking know. More quickly, I think, is the right way. And you're not sure. You don't know, right? So you ask yourself the question: why did I move on so fast? Is it my personality type, and I don't like confrontation, right? So it could be. But then, am I not allowing myself to feel this anger? Am I not allowing myself to feel this violence? I cried today. Didn't want to. Wasn't planning on it. But I cried. I cried so much, you know. And I cried, and I didn't allow myself to feel anger. Now, the most logical part of me was saying that because we've lived with so much anger when I was young, my father was angry. He was strict. He was very strict. He would go ballistic. My mom was super angry. So today, a way of coping is there's a self mechanism, a trauma system, or a trauma IQ that says, hey, you felt the after effect, you felt the nucleus of anger when I'm angry, right? You know, and because I'm not able to process this feeling of anger, I'm not able to process the other emotion, right? So I bottle it up, and I implode. And I'm an asshole. And I'm an asshole because I've suffered. I'm an asshole because this is my reality. I suffered because one way or the other, it wasn't enough. This is why I'm sad now. I have this feeling that not being able to do enough. I feel like I'm not able to do enough for content creation. Feel like the biggest thing in my life right now is the weight loss. And last week we gained some weight. It wasn't on purpose, it wasn't planned, it wasn't wanted. But we lost some weight. We gained some weight. I gained 3 pounds. So we went from losing 15 pounds to losing 10 pounds to gaining 3 pounds. Once again, I feel like I'm not enough. I'm having this bill in front of me that I cannot pay. And once again, I think I'm not enough, you know? And I called them. And they were talking about how there was option of payment, right? And I could give out this amount every single month, and I could give out this amount every single month, right? And I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know because, you know, one of my biggest pride in life is I got no debt. I owe nobody nothing, right? There's multiple versions of self-made, right? And again, you guys know me by now. You know who I am. You know how I act. You know how I think, right? And you understand that I'm very prideful and I like to isolate myself and be alone, right? So not knowing that I don't owe anybody anything. It's a pride. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I made it. I had some help. But never help where I felt like I was indebted. And, you know. And then my mom. Oh! I'm mad at my father because he's not going to help as much as my mom, she wants to really, really help. Because she feels like there's an injustice, right? She feels like there's an injustice, but then she blames me because you should have known that you weren't allowed to. How am I supposed to know that we're not allowed to when 10 of us, 10 out of 10 people, by the way, every single person had the unemployment and now have a debt to pay? The company fucked us. Understand that? The company fucked us. They did not know what to do. I did not know. And yeah. You know. It's rough. It's tough. It's really tough. You know, and the fact that I don't owe anybody anything, once again, such a sense of pride because I'm like, hey, you know, I did it on myself. I had some help, but again, not enough for me to feel like I owe somebody something, you know. So it's tough. It is tough. But you know, my mother's mad at my father because he doesn't want to help as much as she does. She went to help halfway. So 6,500, 6,500. You know. But the difference between my mom and my dad is, I never asked, and I didn't ask either of them for help. I never asked either for them for help. Right. Now my mom, she decided to help because she wants to help. And most of the time, when my mom help, it's coming from her. I'm not asking for shit. You know. Like, hey, let me help you out. And then you can tell her, Mom, no, please, I got this. She won't listen. So then, refers to my father. My father has the habits of me not needing help. My father understands that I can, you know. So when it's time for me to help, so it's for me to ask for help, I don't. Like, well, he's okay, right? Because he never asked for help, you know. And my mom, the thought process of he's okay. I'm still a baby boy. I need help, you know. And my father, I'm a man. He's able to do shit on his own, you know. And in both cases, they were they said, let's pay the bill. I'm the only one that want to contest it, right? I'm also sad because even though I feel like I didn't do anything wrong, I feel like if I was to go to court, I would win. Since I need their help, I have to listen and I have to obey, you know, because they're helping and I owe them, right? I owe them because they help. So then both of them they want to pay the bill, and I want to go to court, but I cannot go to court. So they're mad at me for something I can avoid, you know. Try boiling pasta. You hurt yourself and then they say, hey, don't boil pasta anymore. You can't do it, right? And you try to tell them, hey, I can't. But then because they're the one that gave the pasta, you're stuck eating cold pasta. And it was as easy as trying to do it that worked. They're willing to give up, not even trying to fight, you know. And yeah, I don't know what to do. So then I'm stuck submitting to a law and order. And yet I think that part of this independence that I'm trying so hard to fight to keep. I think it's the fact that I don't owe anybody anything, but it's also the fact that I don't know. I have no clue. Do not have to say yes, Mom, yes, Dad. I will do it. No, when I don't want to do it, I'm gonna fight that. You know. Now I feel unheard. I feel like they're not for the situation. Because they're not for the situation, they won't listen. And then they're fighting with each other because they're so angry. They're fighting with each other. If we're gonna get out of it, we need to be treated together. But then my father's on his side, my mom's on her side. I'm stuck in the middle. I'm trying to fix things but even then I'm not listened to because you're the asshole who has a debt, you know. And if I went to court, right, and I fought and I didn't have to pay bills, right? And I just came in and I was like, hey, we should fight this. Because if we win, then none of those two, they have to worry about it. None of those two, they have to fix a situation that shouldn't have to be fixed in the first place. The company closed. They offered me a new job. They call it transfer. Because they call it transfer, legally speaking, still the same job. You know? And they're asshole because the Metro, the butter company, they needed 6 people. They needed 6 people. And we're 10 that has to pay. Now what I'm not saying is 4 of those 15 people, because the last one is my boss, and my boss retired. Which makes us 14 available worker. 4 of us left to work there, right? They only had 2 places left. Out of the 10, only 2 had a chance to have a job. Right? But then, I'm talking about avoiding a battle, right? Or avoiding a debt. And then, in the perfect situation, I would have made sure that I was allowed to get the money in the first place. But once again, they waited a year after to send me a bill and say, hey, you hold this much, right? A month I would have been able to pay. 2 months I would have been able to pay. 3 months, no problem. 4 months, no problem. 5 months, no problem. 8, 9 months, I'm going to have problems to pay, you know? And then, even then, I was able to keep savings. And I was able to cushion the rent and shit like that, right? The rent in itself is not expensive. I'm paying $6.35 per month. That's one. Next, I'm paying the Fizz, which is internet, which is $35 per month. It's $40 with taxes. That's $6.75. I'm paying $40 per month for my cell phone. $550. I'm paying $21 for Netflix. which is $730, right? I have to pay for hydro, but the eating of the building is included. But the eating of the apartment of the building is included. I only have to pay $40 every 2 months. Then I'm at $755, right? I don't have to buy food. I don't have to buy clothes. So what's left to buy? Nothing. I pay for transport, which is about $100 per month. So I live for under $850 per year, you know, and yeah, and $800 per year. So I'm more than capable of doing what I can, you know. At 850, I'm at we're at 10,200 per year. I owe 13,000. I owe more than my cost of living for 1 year. You know? It's just so much at the same time. And again, I'm being hammered down and hammered down. That's why I don't like having to deal with people when I have problem. You know? I have people reach out to me, amazing people. Then the situation is, that's not the problem. They don't need to hear that. They're dealing with their own shit, right? One of the only people I told, because she kept asking, was Anna. Another single mom. A single mother, right? And she still has a baby, so expensive on clothes that keeps on changing, on diaper that keeps on changing. You know, she has to deal with a lot of the expenses, you know? She doesn't want to hear that, because, I'm not saying that she doesn't want to hear that, she doesn't need to hear that because she has her own financial burden, right? And then, talking about it, it's just rough. It's just really rough. Because when you hear about it, it's bad. Because then people think that, is he asking me for help? You know? But then at the same time, you're not asking for help, but talk about it. And then, even though you're not asking for help, people don't help, or they don't offer help. And you're asking yourself, nobody gives a shit, you know? Which is not true. You do give a shit. You can't just expect people to be there when shit hits the fan. Some people will be. Most people won't, you know. I was talking about my depression when I was 22, you know. And my best friend who unlived himself. My girlfriend, my very first girlfriend, my very first mutual love. Would it really work, right? And it would have really worked, right? Oops. That's not good. That's not good for the computer. Succeed under. Yes, then, you know. And yes, that was rough. That was traumatizing, right? Because, again, I'm a simple guy that tends to isolate himself, right? So my circle of friends is very small. Because the circle of friends is very small, I'm more demanding via those friends. Not because I want to, because there's so little of them, you know. It's like selling 10 chocolates, right? And it costs you X to make this chocolate. So if you sell 10 of them, it's 10 divided by 10. It's X divided by 10. So X divided by 10, you're financially viable, right? If you do 11 divided by 10, if you do X divided by 11, right, then you're making profit. Divided by 10, right? But then you're selling only 3, your cost is still 10. So then everybody has to pay more to cover the cost, right? So those friends, and the normal thing to do, well, not normal, it was horrible to do, but the natural reaction that I had was to burn bridges, you know, and burn bridges. So then you lose those close friends, right? And then you're looking at a complete stranger. But then no stranger, you help them because you weren't working. It's because you weren't working. You had a lot of free time and you would go on Facebook and talk to people and you were lonely, so you talk to a lot of people, and then it would help you. And then it would help you. Then it would help you, right? And then they would help you in ways where it's gorgeous because you're doing something good, right? You're doing it because you're nice. Mostly because you're bored, but you're nice, you know. And then you remember who you helped, right? And even if you didn't do the collect, there's a time of need, right? There's a time of need, and you're like, it's like the mafia, right? And they lend you money, right? And you're like, okay, well, I'll pay you back. And they say, don't pay me back. I'll own the favor one day, right? Kind of that. Now, this favor might never come. It might never come. But it might come one day. And when you come to collect, nobody has money. Nobody has the favor. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody's afraid of you. Everybody's afraid of dirtying their own hand, right? That was depression. I was like, nobody gives a shit, you know? But that's not true. People give a shit. But then that experience with nobody giving a shit led me to close off and to change my whole behavior. And by changing my whole behavior, I became independent, right? I always tell you, hey, I'm so happy I'm self-sufficient. This self-sufficient doesn't come from a, hey, I'm amazing, I'm mature. Because it came from a place where I couldn't rely on anybody. And the only person that I had, the only person that I had back was myself. So once again, the principle of I owe you, the principle of divided cost or dividend is one. So remember the chocolate, right? If you sell 10 of those, your money, and 11 of those, your profit. 3 of those, well, it's a lot of cost. But then you're selling to one person. That's expensive as fuck, you know? So do it to yourself. And you do it to yourself, and you do it to yourself, and you do it to yourself until it becomes a natural. It becomes a reflex. Well, I have this problem. What can I do? Versus, hey, I have this problem. Who can help me? Right? No, it seems like I'm saying, like, hey, if you have a problem, go ask for help. And I think there's a very important distinction to do here. And the very important distinction to do here is you have a problem versus you need help. You know, that's completely different. I have this problem that I can fix. I need some help. Automatically, if I need some help, I can fix it. Automatically, logically speaking. You know? The sun down, now. Okay, still following this. And at the end you become self-sufficient because it's a habit. And then when you have a problem, you can fix them, right? And because you're so used to being self-sufficient, you're not used to ask for help. And when you need help, you don't know how to ask it, right? And then luckily you find yourself surrounded by people, right? And those people are there to support you, to help you out. Wow, I'm so lucky. And then again, we have the 5 state of grief. At first, like, okay, well, what can we do, right? It's denial, okay, anger, bargaining, lethargy, acceptance. You know, I learned all that from my Majora's Mask, by the way. And then now they're at the stage of auto-destruction, right? And you're seeing people implode around you. They implode, they self-destruct. They're going to war with each other. It's such a big problem. And then you might have a solution, but nobody's willing to listen to you, right? And then you don't feel heard because you're the person that's self-sufficient. So you're self-dependent. You take care of shit yourself. So you have a tendency or a habit of solving problem on your own. And then you tell those people, hey, I might have a solution. And their answer is, fuck you. You're the one that brought the problem. You know? And that's the worst part. The worst part will always be, and always has been, letting people down. You know? And I feel like I possibly let people down more than I know. Because I'm not reliant on them, and because I'm not, hey, help me. Even if I let them down, I'm like, okay, well, at least he's okay, right? Now I'm not okay, you know? So I don't know what to do. And I had this feeling of hammering down. And that's one thing. Because you endure it, and you're strong, so you don't mind enduring it. Hit me as much as you want, I don't care, right? I'm sad now, but tomorrow I'll be okay. Even if you hit me. Even if you spit in my face, it's fine. I'll be okay, right? But then there's the undertone of it. And the undertone of it is, people are not really mad at you. They're worried about the situation, they're stressed. They don't have a solution, so they turn to despair. You know? There's this beautiful sentence of, let's see how loyal a dog is when it's hungry, right? Despair is that hungry dog. Then you change yourself, you change. Right? You become like an alcoholic, where instead of with people that are acting differently with alcohol, you know what you're saying? This is different. It's alcohol. It's emotion. It's different. Not really. You see, with people with alcohol, they're themselves, right? Or they act as themselves. And when they're sober, they're able to control this, right? And they're able to maintain a passable, you know. And you know, people say, "Oh, people are not born evil," and that's true. But we all have our whole trauma and our whole thing to deal with, you know. And you have people that have their whole life ruined because of one action, you know? Just like emotion, you're able to maintain yourself, you're able to keep a level-headed, right? And then all it takes is a drop in a full cup for it to overflow. And then you're no longer able to maintain that level-headedness. You're no longer able to help those people, or to be the calm self of the calm image of yourself, or the calm version of yourself, right? And then I said yesterday, and I meant it, and again, I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but that's not the goal here. I felt like I was talking to my mom a lot and my father a lot, and I was helping both of them a lot. And I truly felt like I was the most level-headed. I felt like my mom was really stressed, and I was trying to calm her down, you know, or at least endure. You know, she needs to punch with a punching bag, you know. Or my father, who was worried and willing to give up, and this is the subservient nature that he has. The subservient nature of, I never had leadership. I've always been an employee. I've always been a sheep. I always had to follow a certain lead. I always had to do as told. When I finally have free reign, I don't know what to do because this constant mindset of following has killed every single semblance of leadership. You know? And then you're being told by, I want to come back to it, but you're being told by somebody who's actually punching you, right? They're punching you and they're slapping you and they're using the belt and they're whipping you, right? And they're telling you that you did something that you didn't do, right? And then there's a person in there that's like, hey, I didn't do it, but if that's the consequences, I'll take it. Versus the person that is, fuck you, I don't deserve this, right? Now, where lies the truth? Does the truth lies in, where does the truth lies? And, you know, the truth lies in fuck you, or hey, it's done, right? Doesn't matter how long I suffer, it's not eternal, it's a temporary pain, right? So I try to tell them, hey, this, and ultimately speaking, without necessarily being a leader, her having leadership of, or having this commanding attitude toward my father. There's moments where he was talking, he was afraid, and I had to tell him, dude, stop. And I asked him to give him orders for him to calm down. You know, so I had to maintain that. You know, and in both cases, the two of my parents are the two people that are most aware and they're for me, which is amazing. But they're both filled cup, right? They're both filled to the brim with water, right? And you would add a single drop of water. Again, I'm recording this, so water is my language, but they're both in a position of, hey, let's fix this shit, right? Then like, can I help? In this scenario, I'm a fucking sink, you know? And the second I turn on the water, which is helping because that's the purpose of a sink. The purpose of a sink is to give water, right? Can we agree on that? Cool. The circuit that you're doing this purpose of being the sun, while you're the drop of water that's too much because you cause a problem, you know? So then I'm in a position where I have to wait until they both calm down a little bit. Because I have to be passive and not do shit and just let the dust settle. Because I'm not doing anything, I'm losing time where I could contest, you know? And yesterday my mom was like, hey, you can contest it. I'm like, my mom's like, we're contest it, let's pay the bill, and once we're contesting it, we'll contest it. Now the weird part is my mom was even more mad today, you know? And it's horrible because she calls me, and I'm literally giving out CVs to find a job, you know? Because now it's an emergency, I'm desperate. And when people are desperate, they act differently, right? Remember I was saying about the alcohol and the same thing, right? So I'm asking for help, I'm asking for a job. Because if I get a job, then I don't have to beg for help and I can take care of the problem myself. Makes sense? Hopefully. You know? And then my mom, she calls me and she said, call me when you have time. I'm giving out CVs. So because I'm giving out CVs, my phone's in airplane mode, right? Because it rings all day with fucking scams. And if somebody wants to hire me and they see me all the time answering the phone or phone rings, they're like, this guy is addicted to his phone, which is true, but they don't know that, you know? So I leave it on airplane and then I eat. Just eat a piece of bread with, 2 pieces of bread, 2 pieces of cheese, 2 hot dog sausage, right? And then I call her when I'm done, which is like 2 o'clock, right? PM. And I call her and I'm like, hey ma, let me to call you. And then she tell me, no, you'll call me at 9. And I say, okay, I'll try, because again, I don't know. For example, right? It's 8:30, I'm doing something, I don't see time pass. Oh, it's fucking 9:50, right? So instead of saying, I'll call you at 9 o'clock on the dot, I say, I'll try, which means that, okay, well, then if I call you at 10, I still call you, right? And right away she's aggressive, and she says, I'll call you, call me at 9 is important. I'm like, okay, ma. And then she texts me at 6 o'clock, and right now it's 7:50. And then she's like, hey. And she's like, she's already aggressive, so I know by calling her, she's gonna be aggressive, right? So I'm trying to be passive, and I'm trying to calm down. So before I call her, I take a deep breath, right? And then she asked me what did the paper say, and the paper's at my father's house, because my father wants to have a file, you know, with multiple paper and everything that we needed, because my father needs to be organized, otherwise he doesn't deal well in chaos, right? So I call him, and he doesn't answer. So I'm telling my mom, I'm saying, sorry mom, because she told me what's on the paper. So I tell him, I told her what I thought it was written, which was the exact thing that was written, and I want to make sure. I call my father, and he doesn't answer. And then he called me, and I don't even have the time to answer the phone, and I can hear her swearing in the background, you know. And it sucks because I'm getting angrier. And I'm getting angry, and I'm getting angry, and I'm getting angrier. You know, and she's like, oh, you treat your father so much better than me. Which is not true, by the way. You know? So it's horrible. Then she gets angry, and I have to once again, I have to endure and take it 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 and take it. Why? Because that's the only thing I can do. You know? The only thing I can do. See, if I had to put it in word, the perfect, absolute perfect definition would be something along the line of, you don't buy the hen that feeds you, right? That's the perfect description. And it's ironical and theatrical and anything that you want, because yes, you don't buy the hen that feeds you. However, If there's no hand feeding you, you don't have to worry about biting the hand that feeds you. You know, it's the classic angle of teach a man to fish. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for one day. Teach a man to fish, he'll never need he'll never go hungry again. The second you become self-sufficient, then you're able to pick up your own food and fish or whatever. You don't have a hand to bite. It's so complex because you're in a position of, hey, if you spend too much time feeding yourself and one day you're presented a hand to feed you, you don't know what to do with the hand, right? So there's a perfect balance once again. And everybody expects you to have this perfect balance down, and everybody expect you to be, oh, perfect. You know what? This is the exact way you react to people, right? We're all different. This society is different, right? And some people act a way, other people act another way, and then you act your own ways. So they're fighting a lot. The dogs, they're fighting a lot. The only way is to have a sheep mentality and follow the herd, right? But then I saw my parents being those sheep and follow the herd and follow. And it led them nowhere. Now, ultimately speaking, this is ironical because I'm sitting here with that and I'm asking my parents for help. Then I'm saying that they went nowhere, but in a way, they didn't, you know? In a way, they spent their life following and never got to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, right? Now, here we are, trying to accomplish a dream, right? And that dream is make content. It doesn't work, you know? And I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. I don't know how to react. I don't know how to act. I don't know what they say to do. You know? It's horrible. It's horrible. So I feel like I'm letting everybody down, but I'm letting myself down, you know? And we're already thinking about the aftermaths, you know? And how everybody's gonna be so pissed, you know? And then I'll reimburse them. It's gonna take a year and take 2 years. So for 1 year and 2 years, I owe money, which isn't a big deal because, you know, life is short, but not that short. But for 2 years, I'm gonna have to know that I'm owing something to someone, and if they act in a way that I don't appreciate, or if I'm feeling this emotion because I'm treating not properly, and I feel this anger at being treated improperly, right? And I'm feeling this anger at being treated unfairly. It's bad. It's horrible. I can't react, you know? I was more angry at being treated like shit today on the phone than the actual debt. I don't understand why. Anyway, my rant. Thank you for watching. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the commentary show. Guys, doing well to having a wonderful day on this 17 April 2025. On this 18, my apologies. They were reviewing another movie. We're reviewing Sausage Party. So Sausage Party, the plot is what? I want to start to do the plot of the movie, and we'll do what we think about it. So it's basically products in a grocery store that are thinking that there is a heaven out there, and their job is to get picked out by the god, which is a client. It's actually a super nice thing. You're seeing a completely different version. For example, there's this person that's cooking, and they have this realization that holy shit, this is bad, right? What I really enjoyed is the most of the plot that feels phenomenal is that it's a really feel good movie. In a weird way, this is kind of like a Toy Story, but for food. So Toy Story once again is okay, we're coming alive when there's nobody, but when there's a kid, let's be chill. So it did remind me a lot about that. But another case is what I'm seeing with Sausage Party. It's very the plot is very, very good. There's a bunch of voice actor. There's Jonah Hill. There's Nick Kroll. There's a bunch of really, really good voice actor. Seth Rogen. And what I really like about the movie is like the plot, which is every single morning they're singing a song, right? And then you realize that this song was a Arab phone, which is basically oh, I told you this, but you tell me that. He told me this, and then I said that. It's this first version of the story has been told again and again. And now the first song that was supposed to say, hey, be careful, it's dangerous out there, became, hey, you have to get chosen, right? Now the subplot, which is phenomenal, is there's a small sausage, and the small sausage like, hey, I cannot really be chosen because of my size. So there's a story of acceptance or self-acceptance, which is really cool. Or there's just other story where if you get out of the packaging, then you're not going to be chosen, right? Which is also super nice. The fact that they're talking to each other is also super good. The movie itself is quite entertaining. It's interesting. It feels a bit long, but all in all, it's a really good movie. It's a movie that you enjoy because of the voice actors, because of the plot also. The movie is really charged though. So for example, there's talk about the Palestine and the Israeli conflict. There's talk of purity in religion. There's talk of the Second Reich, right? There's talk of even in the Second Reich, they're talking about killing the Jews versus so it's very politically inclined. There's a lot of deep talk, and it's a feel-good movie for sure. So it begins by saying, so what do you call it? It's tough. It's tough because it's such a complex movie, and it's a complex movie when you look outside of the tip of the iceberg. So when you look deep down, that is so well done. So one of my favorite parts is, for example, right, you got these two people, which is Seth Rogen, right, and I don't know the voice actress. I'm sorry, and he learned the truth about the gods. They're gonna get eaten, they're gonna get cut up, they're gonna get cooked, right? So he's trying to tell people, and everybody's like, yo, you're an heretic, right? And the love of his life, she believes in something else. She believes and what you call it? she believes in the true story, which is the gods and they're good. So you have to tell her, right? And you have to tell her, hey, this is not good. And she's like, yeah. And this guy constantly searches for the truth. And he's willing to go aisle by aisle. So the aisle, which I really enjoyed, was kind of like a city in itself. So that I really enjoyed. The movie in itself, there's a ton of funny moments. For example, there's a sausage that gets to the douche, right? And the douche, and he's like, even the villain, which is the douche in the movie, it's actually really good. So you have the sausage, and the douche gets up, and the devil, which is an employee there, and he gets into his pants, and the sausage is leaning. So when you look at it, it seemed like a sausage, looked like a penis, right? So that was really funny. The douche itself is such a good product. So the douchebag is this douchey guy, which is Dick Kroll. If you like, what's his name? There's a character that he does in the Kroll show, which is Nick something, and he's really a douchebag, and he makes fun of the people from Jersey Shore. So he does it like characters, and the base story of the douche is like, okay, well, I used to be this perfect product, but now nobody's gonna take me, and because nobody's gonna take me, then I'm gonna have to survive another way. If I can't reach heaven, I'll make heaven my own place, right? That's super good. He wants vengeance because when he made him, not good. So yeah, so this is actually pretty entertaining. However, the movie at the end finished in an orgy. There's an orgy. And to me, the movie was good until the orgy, because the orgy, like, what the fuck, what's going on? You know, there's nothing wrong with an orgy, there's nothing wrong with sexuality, but you have this feel-good movie where there's so many important subjects, right? And because there's so many important subjects, brought up, then you end up with something as silly as the way they did. And like, what was the point of bringing all these interesting topics up? What was the point of talking about this societal problem that we had if it was to abandon the plot midway? And to me, that was kind of dumb. But again, I respect the idea or the mentality behind it. So that's pretty much it. That's the sausage party. Now, I have to choo. Don't blink, yes, blink. Welcome to the show. If you're doing having a wonderful day on this 18th April 2025. Happy Saint Friday. Why not do something that is akin to Saint Friday and do a movie review for the movie Jeepers Creepers Resurrection? So, oops, video pause. Okay. I thought the battery was low. So in itself, the movie follows the adventure of Jeepers Creepers. It's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. A slow start, but the movie is good. What is the plot? So the plot is kind of hard to understand. So the plot itself is about the Jeepers Creepers. It's kind of like a remake or something like that. However, if you didn't see the other movie, it's not really specified. What I really like about this movie is, first of all, they're fighting it back. Second of all, they're demystifying or trying to understand who is the Jeepers Creepers, right? And I'm pro that, but I'm also against that. So the Jeepers Creeper, we know how it works. So every 23 years, so kind of like It, which is It the Clown every 27 years. So that's something that they did that also. But there's a problem with demystifying something. The reason why It the Clown was scary is because we don't know much about him. The reason why Jeepers Creepers was scary is because we don't know much about him. Now, I'm a huge fan of Jeepers Creepers. The second one and the first one and the second one. Funny story, I lost my virginity watching Jeepers Creepers. Yeah. So I had this girl who I really like. She was kind of like, it was in grade 7. She landed the slut of the school, but I really liked her. And she used to come every single day in summer. And it was funny because we always watched a scary movie. And you know me, I'm a wussy, right? When it comes to scary movie, I don't want to watch them because I'm afraid. But she came in and I really liked her. So I made an effort. And then we had sex watching Jeepers Creepers. I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but I remember it was Jeepers Creepers. It's the one where we have Justin Lee. You know the guy from Tusk, the guy from Indian, one of the Canadian hero. So that's that one. So Jeepers Creepers Resurrection, the understanding, trying to understand what it is. The movie felt a bit like a slow burn because it's constantly these cliche. It's constantly there's a dude and there's this girl and they're interested by paranormal, they're interested by your scary stuff. So it's a plot that is itself, but it's a plot that you feel like you saw before. So that's a bit of a negative. Again, I'm not pro demystifying the Jeepers Creepers, but they did a really good job. And a really good job that they did was in many ways. For example, right, you understand how it works, but you also understand how to defeat him, which is good. You understand that he's beatable, but there's the best part about it is you know that he's beatable, but you don't know if he's beatable forever or something back in 23 years, right? Now, of course, there's gory scenes. The gory scenes are really well made. The fighting scenes are really well made. My issue with the movie is we got these two main casts, which is the chick and the dude, and then they had some casts, which is also good, right? But the cast does feel like Red Cap. So Red Cap is what? Red Cap is people are going to be adding to the show to have not a better show, but a bigger show. So have to have more characters. So you're having all those characters introduced just to kill them. And you can kind of tell pretty early on they're going to get killed. Like, for example, they're hiding in the house, right? And there's this chick who speaks super fucking loud. So, of course, Jeepers Creepers, you're going to know that they're there, right? There's another guy who is, he's supposed to be clumsy and he's not really physically strong. He gets stuck in the trap. So you know he's going to be dead, right? So you have the two main casts. In the two main casts, first of all, the girl, she gets stabbed, which sucks, but the guy doesn't get in trouble. So you have these almost horrible thing that happen to everybody else but the main cast. So you're like, okay, well, I kind of let you Red Cap, right? So, for example, a better word for Red Cap would be plot armor versus no plot armor. That would be the best. It would be the best solution. It would be the best. So because they got plot armor, the main character will not get hurt, but everybody else is not safe. Now, in a way, the Jeepers Creepers is the revival or reincarnation or resurrection is stuff because you have almost have, and resurrection doesn't really feel like a retcon or like a remake, right? So it feels like it follows, or at least it seems like a different plot line. So for example, in the first, second, and third one, there's kind of an understanding. In the third one, now it's complex. It's really complex because the resurrection, it's like, okay, well, we know where he is, but there's no mention of the first one. There's no character from the first movie, the second movie, the third movie. The only character that stays there is Jeepers Creepers. They changed his appearance. They also made him appear, which is really, 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 really cool. There's also an albino crow, so seeing that was really nice. The graphics there, the CGI is good, right? But then at the same time, you're stuck in a position where the main character, which is the Jeepers Creepers, is the Jeepers Creepers. So, for example, there's feeling of is he in love with the girl, and she's acting like she's in love, right? There's this the ending scene where she kind of bowed down to him, and she's like, okay, well, you can eat me, right? But then what ended up happening is she's a trap, right? But you don't really understand why the Jeepers Creeper does it, because he met plenty of girls in previous movies, and he never acted that way. So you're in a position where I understand why he's doing it, but why is he doing it? So it's really complex. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I understand why he's doing it, because again, I know it's a plot point. You understand why he do it because I never did before, right? So there's pattern behavior, there's return behavior, there's repeated behavior. For example, it would have been really cool if in the first movie, the first victim is a certain typecast, let's say girl, kind of young, let's say chubby, right? And in the second movie, the first victim that he chooses is once again the same thing. In the third movie, what he chooses is the same thing. But since they didn't do it in the previous one, it's kind of hard to tell. The Jeepers Creepers in itself is kind of amazing, but it's just a good movie. Well, actually, the movie is a good movie, but I don't know if I would have enjoyed it if I was in fan of the series. A and B, it is a good movie, but is it as good as the three previous one? Not really. So it's fun to have love for Jeepers Creepers coming back, but it does feel a lot more like fan service than anything else. And there you go. That's the review of Jeepers Creepers Resurrection. Love you guys. Peace. Okay. And we're back about to work out. So, yeah. Sorry guys, not in the mood. Let me be completely honest. Let's see. That's why my mom was bad. You know, that sucks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna be working out, but I'm gonna be listening to the debate.
I think we've seen, first of all, thanks for tuning in, thanks for tuning in. We've seen what a lot of people do the trail look at the United States. I grew up in Georgetown, I grew up in Windsor, and we saw how connected we were as a city and as a community. People lived on one side of the border, worked on the other. People traveled back and forth all the time. We're the outward capital of Canada. We knew how important it was to be able to build cars in Canada. We saw that those cars were back across the border. Seeing what Donald Trump did to Canada, that's probably that made us officially felt like a trail. And so it is now what I say, well, we don't really trust Donald Trump at this point, and we can't really have a lot of faith in it. So when it comes to our sovereignty and our security, these make decisions already. And the markets are headed to the line.
Dominic Sibwank, welcome to another controversial. We're doing one this 18th April 2025. I'm in a good mood. I just finished up with my mom. It was bad. She was angry. She was angry. Both my parents were angry. They were thinking that it's still for the unemployment thing. It's still for the 30,000 that I owe. They think that I knew I was gonna be. I knew I wasn't allowed to get chômage. Yeah, I'm not gonna be talking. I can be talking, but I don't feel like myself. I feel very angry. Did an hour-long video talking about how I felt. Feel angry, feel unheard, feel stuck. Feel like I need people. I hate needing people. We're also listening to the debates. Not loud enough. Listening to the political debates of CDC. It's not loud enough. I don't know why. Not loud enough. Okay, I have a plan.
So the starting point has to be one of us, right? It has to show that we have control of our own economic destiny. It has to have a human here to help us build this economy, to diversify our labor with like-minded partners. And also has to have the right to react to the U.S. unjust tariffs. And that's when we put in place counter tariffs that have massive impact in the United States and minimum impact here as well. So we did roughly what we believe in making sure our investors here today, not here. And we're here. So I'm saying engage counter here and tariffs are all future is economic right. We must be here to allow sovereign and low-hanging here. Well, maybe in things, right? But we're going to have to be our economy and energy laws.
There you go, much better, right? Fucking hate being in this situation. Fucking hate being in this position. You know? Usually I'm able to control the situation. When I say control, people are gonna say that that's bad. When I say control, whoa, the heck? When I mean control, I mean balance it out. It's not too much of an emotional situation, and it's more so a something we can figure out together, you know? More be in charge and in control. No, I can't. Who am I voting for? I don't trust these guys. I don't trust these people. I trust none of them. Why? Because democracy is dead. Democracy is dead. Most of these people have their own agenda. Most companies have their own agenda. The bigger the company, the more they have to say. The bigger the company, the more taxes they pay. What's the word for the economy? Taxes. Understand? Honestly, think there's no behind closed door discussion of don't do this, we'll leave. Let's go back to the taxes. Because there's. They're talking about Trump, right? If you listen to what they're saying, they're. This is propaganda. This is propaganda. Propaganda. They're using Trump as a solution of how do we fight Trump. Start fixing the country, then talk about import and export. Start fixing your country, then start talking about geopolitics. Start fixing your country, and then you can think about the world. Understand? Economy is fucked. There's a bunch of migrants that come in. The great stuff. Different culture equates to a better understanding of the world. Great. But you have to have adaptation, right? You have to have a place to welcome those people. You have to have infrastructure that are aware that the population is constantly growing and doesn't suffer from limits of people. The government governing 1 million people has less liberty than the government leading 10 million people. When the last time that the government changed, they all want different things. They all talk about different things. When the last time the government changed? Centuries ago. It's all bullshit. So why am I listening to it? Because if I'm gonna be lied to, why is it, well, no, where's the lie? I grew up in a house where it was constantly all the government's an asshole. They're bandits. They're Thai bandits. Get you vote every single day. You know it's lies. But you listen every single day. You're putting yourself in a situation of constantly being disappointed by something or a system that's broken. Besides those people, they're coached. They have their speech already figured out. The only thing that is normal is debate. They're coached for that. I watch every single debate since the apartment because we all love a little blood in the water. We all love an underdog. You're an underdog, you're the victim. We're at 2 times the speed, of course. I don't have time to listen to 1 time the speed. That. Been running for a week, looking for like-minded people, possibly relationship, via Twitter. And you guessed it, most of these girls, OnlyFans model, trying to boost their algorithm, looking for lonely men. I'm lonely, but I'm not stupid, so. See? This is why I don't want to talk. When I talk, I'm like a pessimistic asshole. I think the whole world is fucked. That is fucked. This is hard for everybody. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we get the same ads. There you go. Because you always get the same ads, you know how long they last. Right? Because how long they last, you can skip it. Now, the trick isn't to check the time. The trick isn't to check how much time is left. The trick is to listen to what they're saying. You register the specific word that they use, and there's a skip billable. Just wait for that word. That's a good question. How do you lower prices in a trade war? What about import and export? I should react to it. So, the trade war, because China is a neighbor to the USA, their import and export are changing prices. The price, because reliance on trading. I.e., we create more metal, we have a lot of water, they have a lot of cars, they have a lot of car parts, they have that we don't have, right? For trading. One country weakness is another country strength. If those two countries team up, there's no weakness, there's no flaws. So then, you have a codependent country. You get comfortable in this relationship, and you divorce. USA is the wife, only 50%. Tax breaks. Tax breaks is important because you want to have big fish, which is places like Walmart, places like Amazon. You want to give them tax break, so they do have workshop or enterprise in your country. Enterprise in your country creates work. Work creates taxes return. Taxes create economy, and they make the world go round. However, when the company is too big, those tax cut hurt the country itself. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. We didn't go back to the tower. We stayed on the music app. Trade wars, trade tax cuts, equate to negotiation. You're big enough for me to want your company in my country, but you're also big enough for me to want you to pay taxes. Housing crisis. Let's talk about immigrants. They're destroying homes to build condominiums. A home will have a family of 5, 6, right? A condominium will have 40 people. Now those people, we have to house them. We have to build parking lots, right? We have to feed them, which equates into a higher markup of food. Because now the supplier can keep the demand up. We produce locally. And because we produce locally, I can't get to the TV. You can produce locally, you need some importation and exportation. The importation requires more money. How much of that is import, how much of that is produced locally? How much of a margin of profit do you get? Once again, product of profit equate to taxes, taxes equate to economy. Full circle. But then the sun had, look, listen to how much it's taking, and the speed of what it's taking. Also, housing is a big problem because, for example, right, a lot of the condominium owners are a private owner, right? They have their private company, they're having their private building, right? And they are going to build condominium. Condominium is going to be 40 units. If 35 units are busy, that's a loss of 5 revenues. It's also a loss of 5 taxes. The government want to keep the housing costs extremely low. That way they have housing taxes, and they always have a maximum of renters and owners. Renter pay taxes, pay the rent. The renter pay taxes, receive rent. Private owner will be responsible for the security of their own building. Your elevator is broken, you fix it. Right? So again, that's taxes. There's also the fact that you have to, most people have to borrow money for housing. You don't guarantee the payment. None of those people call the bankruptcy. And then all their debt is settled. Now, no, I think I have to edit out.
The biggest risk we have to really, the biggest risk we have this month is on Trump. So first of all, we're going to get that right. Second, he's doing it in a way that brings everyone along together. That means there's a program that child care, equality, healthcare, saying, this is not the nice way to treat people who come to our border.
See the ad, right? We had this. We had 10 minutes. We had 10 minutes of us talking, recording, but I am here, so we're good. We're to the 1%. Holy shit. This is people. Shaldana. Wrong mode. It's not a video. It's a bit more. I'm not indigenous. Try not to be too loud. 1 in the morning. How many math murder is? It's how much it's going to cost to finish this law. Appropriate use of stupid sounds. More light. much we have? 2,100. Okay. So they check out the tower. Does feel good though. We go 25 minutes. That way. I was supposed to do it earlier. Agreed.
Canada states that somebody may invite people to be violent to promote genocide again.
Avec une saveur parfaite à chaque bouchée. Pringles, un goût dont vous ne pouvez pas décrocher.
En santé bucco-dentaire, Sensodyne a une gamme de dentifrice complète pour que vous puissiez blanchir vos dents de 2 tons et être protégé contre la sensibilité dentaire. Chaque jour est parfaitement formulé et c'est mon opinion de dentiste. Je le recommande à mes patients.
Your profession could come with banking benefits. With National Bank, Enjoy offers for professionals. You and your partner could save up to $1,313 a year. Banking benefits for professionals. National Bank. When it's time for adventure, keep cool with Ice Go and Cabot. For reliable cooling wherever your adventure takes you. No ice, no problem. Just good times, chilling to perfection. Built tough, designed for adventure, and available at Cabot. Keep it cool with Ice Go from Cabot. If you have mind religious motivation, they are never do that. They are never do that. They are never do that. And we say it is a crime to invite people to violence and killing other people. And this is what is being done very often in Canada. With the approval of the federal government of Canada, and we are saying this has to be changed. We have to change what we do for one people elsewhere. Change what we less than a second. This is one crisis leadership. And one crisis we have is integration. Because of the physical government's commitment to a radical policy for a century and which seeks to bring a population of 100 million people. They allow massive overcrowding in our communities. And housing shortages, job shortages, I'm not blaming which brought this policy on. And this program continue with century leadership. This is crazy. We have to get back to normal levels of integration. Get rid of fraud in every immigration system and ensure that people come here and arrive in numbers to be housed, employed, and cared for. That's how it was. And that's how it was.
Those are 5 things, but we're not done yet. We are entering the next section of our debate tonight, what we're calling the leader's choice, something a little different. Each of you will get the chance to ask a question, any question, of any other leader. You can then debate the answer, and each one on one will last for 3 minutes. So, Mr. Singh, you have the first option here. We will answer your question. Go for it.
Starting as chair of investments, one of the biggest tax dodgers in Canada. As chair, you consider for investments, affordable homes, kick out tenants, and jack up the rates. As prime minister, one of the first you did was tax that helped out mostly millionaires. And your plan to have services for people. I expect that was your and service aspirations to plan. But my concern is that doesn't sound like what people offer earlier. So my question to you, Mr. Carney, whose side are you on? Thank you very much for that question. I'm on Canadians. I'm in the sport Canadians. I work for Canadians. But you know, I'm trying to public service for this country. Go back to something that Mr. Smashit referenced earlier, which is a resulting crisis. We're back. You got anyone defense, we got anyone government. You got 2008. I don't know about resulting crisis. You got yeah. Finally, but yes, I have a one very sector. I'm proud of that. I'm back with integrity. And he brings me with experience that I can apply. You start to benefit those you jack up the price of homes for people in the world as you consider and then you're I'm going to do my job just for without fear of the former leader of the NDP said when he was leader of the opposition, he never would have accepted the kind of gag order. The government Mr. Trudeau's government was attempting to oppose him. And so the guy because it was obviously free. But things like the case for one of your candidates, sir, actually said he wanted to send political opponent to China under a bounty threatening his life or imprisonment. And you refused to do it. Now, it has something to do with the fact that you went to China not wanting to go get $4 billion loan for your company. But the reality is, you refused to stand up for a Canadian who's being threatened by the foreign government. And I was able to see freely on that because I refused the gag order that the government has. Well, you know, some things like you invite people almost here, robust debate here, robust campaign. It has not stopped Mr. Blanchet or Mr. St. campaign. I mean, challenges with respect to these issues. So one thing I will observe is some of the security clearance. China is not the only country that is used for 40 years. And generally, that's right. Now, let's take this far. So this down road. So quick explanation right now. And we know warriors here that characterize our military since the birth of our country. We will report and we will stand behind our guns. So the question you guys have the consumer card test and have the taxing percentage of your predecessor. Is that an admission that the liberals made less affordable for Canadians? I think the rationale behind both of those changes. First with respect to consumer card tax.
And we're back. Sorry, I had to. The phone overheated once again, like yesterday, and now we're at low batteries at 30%. So we'll try to do a quick workout, right? I don't have a lot of time, but let's go. We're still watching the debates.
My kids love playtime, and honestly, me too. Thanks to everyday low prices on Walmart.ca, it's easier than ever to find a little something for everyone. Their next toy adventure is always just a few days away, with new toys they want at prices you'll love even more. It's a win-win.
Long break from. Working out. And I don't feel like it.
Which is invested in reducing emissions. Our partner is California, which makes a huge deal about reducing emissions. This is what we do. This is we compare what Europe does, and by we Europe, there's something in Poland and there. We must follow that, and you have to be responsible because this is much less expensive than everything else. That's fine. We're doing another second here. Let's try again, and the third time this time. This is what you previously promised to fund. So you see, one of the very first taxes by Minister. Is that still the plan? Yes, DC will continue to operate as a self-funded Canadian-owned controlled non-profit that raises money by the organizations for sponsorship, subscriptions, advertising, licensing fees. That will turn Canadians who still want to listen and use content will be able to do so. And at the same time, we'll bring the rest of everybody has a voice heard and make their own decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. Next question. Next question. Would you remove some of Canada's legal tax avoidance loopholes that companies do that for you?
Look, I think that what we need to do is undertake a comprehensive review of our corporate taxes and do that on the basis of the right principles. We've got to have fairness, transparency, sustainability, and competitiveness. So we need a tax system, corporate tax system, including being part of a international minimum corporate tax.
If you hold down to that, this election is over. What would your party support? Another party.
And we're both tax proposals and trying to respond to that. And selling stocks and shares to make profits and having less tax on that is not hard work. It's a little bit complicated. People are job creators, but the hard work and that issue are fine.
Thank you. Kind of question. If you hold down to our election is that what would be the price of your support?
Respect for it. That's why I don't want to go against what I want to move forward stuff, but I don't want to vote any division or illicit legislation on debate, which is different in terms of language and values and civility and equality between people. So I want to be a partner, and if it is respected, Canada has nothing to fear from because we vote always before debate. Not as we move forward debate.
Thank you. Now we have one.
Ow!
That's a very good question. I'm not very fond of regrets, I would say, but we we should have started sooner to see that we had to create the environment for a deal, in which Quebec would be one way or the other. The partners would be stronger in front of Mr. Trump and show that maybe nobody else is the partner that will now be surveying or control our lives like it was.
Thank you, Mr. Milton. And the president of the campaign. I'm giving you people as I love to, so I can't get to the communities I want to. I think one of the hardest of my jobs is to people, share stories, and then take their stories and concerns and bring them all out and fight those people. And so, you know, you got to engage your community. I'm going to fight the nature that you represent. That we never let any government healthcare. That we defend the values of care to people, make life more affordable. That's like, we might need to see. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Take questions. Really I'm to be honest, this is an astonishing country. This is an amazing country. And the opportunity and the responsibility of being with me, hearing the stories, their challenge, drawing strength and ideas from them, and being working to be part of the solution is the greatest honor of my life. Because the right is, it is also a big country, and it is a short period of time. Oh, yes, let's read. I actually agree with you, gentlemen. I rule that all my family, when they're really big, I stand for the flag, every person, and their stories, and learn their struggles. And I'm not touching it, but I'm faith in any of us. All such Russians have the opportunity to see how they will do that. That way, you know, up there, I am one of us. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes. It is time now to go to statements of our debate. You drew lots as a future we go and to sing. You get first word on voting. So thank you. Because you voted together, guys, you're going to build this country that we love. You understand healthcare and pensions. Has voted for us. Because voted together, we're going to fight to bring in dental care, farm care, and child care. Has voted for us because you support us. You have the power with your vote to send one of the rest of to continue that. Make sure no government cuts anything multi-year, like for healthcare. To show it very possible to make life more affordable and be more affordable by groceries to get on.
See? Okay, we're good. Thanks. Good.
That make Canada, Canada. Whereas if you want to about Ethan, like, what's ironic about it is like none of this is even related. Like, you talk a little bit about the Sonny relationship, but like Rogan is like in this video for like 5 seconds. Denhams is like barely in the video. Sean, I don't think he's in the video at all. So it's like really easy to win, like having them part of it. It just felt like it was like a Ian trying to assert that now I'm part of this new group and they accept me and I'm totally on board with them, etc. And I don't really think that it was that unforced error. It wasn't necessary to do that. I think that you could cut all of that out. And even if you framed it, I can only use that out. But probably like 25 to 20 minutes of the video. I think it's a lot sharper and a lot clearer than it is. And like and the first half of the video, I also was like really kind of like frustrating for me because it feels like it's like all like very personal and private, like involved in like nuance, like organization, like you know, Ethan lying, you on Twitter, like and like saying these things like about oh you said you defend me or not defend me on the internet. Like ultimately, like, this is really content prop. This is just your opinion and like you were wrong with Ethan. I mean, I don't really have a better you know like thing like content there. Like, I just feel like this should have been the end conversation. Like a private conversation. And I don't like this is like content props that absolutely good is because they took on a person's foundational like what they're doing. So like, for example, like, if this is where Ethan using Gino as an excuse for being hostile or rude or disrespectful, like it's fair. And using one like one evangelizes him, it's like that's fair. Like that's actually criticism of his content. Whether you're rude or not, this is criticism of content, right? But like it's not just about like this is not a personal relationship that I understand that Lisa had with Ethan and Ewan, right? And I think the first entire half of the video was just the nuances, the specifics, and the complexities of their relationship. You know, like and that's really what it comes down to. And I so I don't know Ethan's one. I don't know my idea. Like I and some of the things like I feel like Ethan like his I think it's something I think it's like another topic too. Is that like streaming live streaming like definitely changes the way that people see you a lot. And I think it's a really different dynamic. I don't know like the song is out or like or like we said things we should have said or did things we should have done. And like I did again like there's people behind the camera live streaming as like a little small fish, right? Like I can tell you like streaming, I don't know, but like I'm saying, I'm sorry, I think it's on Instagram from like you know, charts a lot, right? So people kind of fans, but like you know, live streaming had a group with us, and so like a lot of our mistakes were either we were on the top or you know we kind of got through that phase with now you know like when you start live streaming, you already like know these guys on the internet, and so when you're live streaming, you're doing that. It's really hard to do that in a way that isn't either boring or problematic. And I think like in the same way that when we started getting like 80s, like live streaming, like news I think also Ethan has the same thing happen. And if Ethan had never live streamed never once in their life, I think they both would be better off because of it. That's my honest opinion. I don't like Ian. Like I actually like Ian. Like that's the truth. I do like Ian. I do feel like his videos have a number of like cheap shots and I think it misrepresented a number of things. But I think there were also some fair levels of criticism too. And no, and this is my opinion. Like I talk to him personally. I have my podcast. Like the different. I don't you understand. Like when I say I talk to somebody, like somebody, like I don't know. I don't think it's really like that big a deal. It's just not a big deal like to me at all. Like I don't know. I don't take this very seriously. I don't really like really. It's just the parents have that guy. I don't see why that's not it. Like I try to take it from it. Like I mean, I suppose pretend like I had a bad experience with a person really like the same year happy because of the parents' expectation they have. That's disgusting weird. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Honestly, I remember that SCN at Twitch on 2019. I've never had any bad personal experience with that before. We're not with a song. I've never had any bad issues with any of these guys. So something like that. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like I have problems with people. Like just in general, I don't have deep problems with people. I don't create like hostility towards people. Like I just don't like. I don't know like what the fuck why do I do that. But like some people know. Like like of course not gonna happen. And it's yeah, I understand that at all. But anyway, if I took for example, you're not going to like it does. If you're sensitive, it doesn't make their own sense. Like weird. Not really. I mean, like I think streaming is like a this is the reality. Is that I think live streaming is incredibly malignant mental state video. It's like corrosive, malignant, negative, and just bad. And so there's a lot of people that live stream all the time. Like every night online. Well, because people have different like personal life. That's the reality. You might not do that, but it's not people they have online. That's just true. And so and obviously right. And so you can like everything. So you know like it's not have to be and obviously that's the and that's your work and like people. But I think live streaming is that like not just look. I try to ask everybody to see side things. This is what I'm trying to say. And to just participate as much as fair as possible. And so if you think I'm not doing that, that's fine. But like all I'm doing is talking about like my personal experiences I've had people. And I mean I know how much it is. And I think also like a lot of people get negative about it anyway. And so like I don't think also like there's another factor. And it's because like some people video things. The reason I think people like taking shots at me seriously is because they always miss. They always miss when they say matters. Like nobody cares what they're saying. Like it's a deal. Like I'm still being there, still at the end of the day. So like they sure can grind, they sure want. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna go live next day and be massively successful. And it needs to be watching video every single day. So now I really get upset about people saying about me. It doesn't matter. If I'm like you gotta shoot likes, like it's gonna be like that bullshit. Like that's how I can say something in general. Like and it's not making you think it's just that I know that I'm right now. And it doesn't make people think I'm not because they just don't realize it. And so that's actually how we're doing it. And that's the reason why I don't get upset about things. It don't fucking matter. Because like everyone says anything to do with it. This fucking like so yeah, of course. What are we gonna have here? Like the reason why I don't like things that people say emotionally affect me are real. And it makes it really do. I feel like my decision making is compromised. I have no decision. So I try never put myself in a position where I make a decision when I'm in any level of emotional state. But yeah, like that's the reason why. There's also East Town, America. This is the Texas. East Town, America. Like house, East Town,
know, you should feel better. We're going towards it. But a lot of transformers. Like that's the only problem. There's a kid, no, it's not. There's a girl at the door, and there's somebody in here, and it can't get up. Who does the same thing wrong? Like, I can't like record like keyboard. I mean, a lot of that is like, I know. So the people can't stand like it can't go. There's no practice to do that. I know each other 4 or 5 times. You check it. All right. There's a problem with the vaccine. I don't want to hear it. When she knows her, please put down a little bit now. You have this fucking limitation. Sometimes I find myself in shit, and I have to stop. And I go to the door. Just make sure no one's out there. I'm going to have because what's going on. Those sometimes I can't in the morning. And she's trying. And then it's all she knows. She knows so much fear. I'm getting help. To the point I don't. I don't know nowhere else. I'll go see out. I'm going to go like a whole nice thing. You know, see how it's right. I'm going to go. Hi, I'm Jane. You're going to restaurant. Can I speak to you? Please. Please. I think you do it. Please. Oh, my life. All their kids touch on me. And now I'm really going to need help. I ain't restaurant for 12 years. Oh, I taught disabled kids and adults. And I did it for 25 years. It is.
So,
I'm saying. The big problem is my staff. Because if I cook with one hand and use cell phone with another hand, or taking more breaks and gossiping, talking, and late, stuff, so this is not helping me in a restaurant where it needs to be. I am in big debt because I can't keep enough clientele in a restaurant. I mean, I'm working so much right now. I really don't know. I really don't know. I just don't have the money. So every day I never say a waitress, I'm a manager, I'm like, cool, that's not bad news right now. I just really get up. All days I really need help. I can't do it. I can't. No, this was horrible. Yeah, poor Betty, bro. She just needs me. Yeah. She has response. Sometimes she has a person. You got the thing where you just want to put your hands on me like, honey, you got nice fishing. Yes. I'll make the Main Street. I'm very serious person. This young man living near he's like me and Jason. Friends. It's not my son. No, the same thing. He's a regular. And he works at sometimes. And he's always saying a little salty. She's on you. He's one of the guys that come here. And his hands here. We try to get down and play for the dance. Especially Sunday culture. So nobody's son. Because they think of me when I allow them to do something they should do. Yes, I do me all sometimes. Because I actually do something 5, 6 times. It's not getting done. I think I'm too soft. I need to put my foot down and do something. You should be trained. But no, sophomore me, I give everybody another chance. So always something. I go back there. They don't phone. I mean, I'll be back there with 5 people on the phone at one time. Especially you. No, it's not right. Oh, you say I don't have it? No. That's not your phone. Valerie, I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I follow her to the bathroom. And you already talked one time. You never know if I borrow you. I drink like over 2 gallons of water a day. Don't let me drink down the water unless we have hot ice. Oh, it's not like kitchen. Well, I'll drink whatever I get for hot ice. No. I can't deal with everybody first of all. And it's like, I'm not feeling. Not like I'm on Jeffrey. This is not like me. You don't understand. I am my first. I deal with all this. Not like we get past mine. And everybody always makes everybody especially mine. Every single day. I'm here this morning because I don't know what they respect me enough. And all these years I really what I'm doing. This is like frustrating to me. If I don't get Jeff Brown now, I am going to lose what I have within less time. I'm leaving it out.
Jason, pas seulement investir sur le célèbre, mais aussi une famille et donner l'endroit. Un esprit comme un. Trouver les choses en tendance à cliente sur et doit faire partie de la famille. Tellement Jason.
Right, wait. Look around. I'm not sure if I'm 40 years old, sweet. These are sweet tea, sweet. That's like sour tea. They call it sweet tea. It's supposed to be sweet. That's why they call it sweet tea. Miss Jane, what's this? Please have your money while we're out. Look at this. They don't talk about this thing. They talk about this like this. Look at that. I mean, what? We have these friends on the first side. I don't know. I thought I just had a break. They don't give a shit. They expect you to don't shout. This one, it's not their fault. I mean, what? Chanel. Damn. I just put the green together. You get it. You told me you get it. You had to like something. Like I'm saying, I'm frustrated. Take off me. I'm not. You play with the hands. I can't wait. I'm so angry. How is it? There's something like Brian. I think it was nice. This is so good. I really don't like your family. So good. This is like I'm going to make the Richie. Here's that. 9 o'clock. Okay. So now we're going to start 4 times. This number. Here's my G. Yes. So it's not like the rest of the else. They did look that way. Too fast. Put 4 times. Yes, and I keep turning. See, it's not working. Get the hell. I'm getting it. What's going on? I don't know. I'm struggling. Stop going high.
practice today, and it just comes out. Okay?
He's a macaroni and cheese. It's where? Well, it's where? Look. Hey, look, look. I like the macaroni and cheese. Look, it is good.
I mean, that's fine. Except that it was cool. Okay, press it. Is that?
Are you serious? Get your please on the porch, please. That's enough.
Nowhere. So he says, a couple of dollars. Exactly. That's it. Wait. Is that?
Janelle, you take it. You can't stand it against the floor. I'm cool. Okay, so you're at Jen's porch. And now this thing. Okay, so anything else you want to get to? He said that this was right. I'm supposed to say why they don't get it today. I still stand by my food. Because I put all my heart into it. And I work hard.
Oh, dear. My lunch was a joke. And anything makes it so. Passion lost. Before four love. Like, okay, talk about this thing. How many potatoes? Something. You know, wait, something. You see, so something. And then something about the sauce. And then watch out. I mean, something. It was done. Cheese. Just a bunch.
I think we're good.
I mean, cheese.
Well, I don't, Chef. No, macaroni and cheese. We haven't even think about it yet. We don't know anything.
Yeah, right.
I'm not even about it. Oh, no. I told Chef Ramsay I can wear my hats. And I feel like, if you don't like my fried chicken, if you don't like my macaroni and cheese, if you know what Chef Ramsay can do, he can wear one of my hats. And that's one of them. That's how I feel.
You just take off the camera to see this G is the night of food.
No, I can see the other tonight. No, I'm getting right.
That's right. That's what
What's the key service? Chef Ramsay.
Did you ever do your Canadian time money? You put enough for your oil change to be free.
Wait, I can do Canadian time money?
Oh yeah. Hurricane redid Canadian Tire Money for auto service. Only at Ken's Garage.
This election, find out where the Volchan poll tracker.
L'inspiration peut venir de partout. Depuis 1868, Fleischmann a des pâtissiers pour leur création. Fleischmann, nous sommes tous des apprentis boulangers.
Look at get chewed up into gems. So we're reading the guild chat at the end of the season. You start getting hammered with some friend. I thought Black Hole Jester before I had more than one penalty. A lot of it is luck. Yep. Batch, not celebrating. Going to start night shift tomorrow. My official SCP. At Batch. GT left 4 to that. I'm boring. The tower. She said she's boring. How do you not tell her you play the tower? You one of the cool beans. The time with girlfriend kids. Sounds lovely. Honestly. Enjoy. There you go. Oh. I know you're not charging properly. And up. Okay. Queen, the bonus. Then mine. Defense. Myself. Attack. Defense. Oxygen. Attack. Attack. Myself. Oh, damage. Okay. Defense. Oxygen. One shot. Attack. Just. Defense. Chest, interest. Ay, ay. Shit.
I feel hurt. I acknowledge that these people felt that I had an mean to them. I want to make it right, and I will fight to make it right.
Lanceur de pneus durée d'un chez Canadian Tire, emballage sur Saturday. Économisez jusqu'à 30% sur des marques de qualité comme Michelin, Continental, Motomaster et plus. En magasin ou en ligne à canadiantire.ca.
Recording.
The soap is impeccable. The deodorant and the body wash ferocious. Get Dr. Squatch your heart. Buy Dr. Squatch for your skin. Just go online at drsquatch.com. Feel like a man, smell like a champion.
You were made to choose your own path. We were made to help you choose your trip together.
Again.
Vous avez fait du chemin.
I appreciate all you did here, and I'll apologize to anyone that in my restaurant that has been nice by me, because I really appreciate you from my heart. And I can't do it without you. I really need you. And I'm going to guarantee you will not be served without a smile. You're looking at Bill 15. I'll give you another chance to make it away with my husband. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I love you. Good morning, crowd. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Shit, I might not be able to do it. We have one day 11 hours, which is basically 8. 8 more. Oh, let's go. What? You were, Mr. Air. So, 8. Still possible. To be able to do everything. Yeah. We should be able to do everything. On both playthrough. The fuck? Mamma Maglione.
Alright, do you what is that? How you guys talking about? I'm Joe, research field about Joe. Without you.
Wait, so you want to just say that?
Yeah, something else.
I never, I didn't I think something. Yes.
What happened? I don't know. No, I'm going to school. I'm actually going to school. Okay, now we know who the troll is. No, just kind of like, if you go back, because I didn't know. You know. My problem is, like, every other day, she's a couple of. I start. Okay, I do that, like, every half hour, so no, it's just just like, I read one, maybe I like, it's almost good, you like, possibly excuse yourself in a good restroom, and not like this, control, like, this is comfortable, and it's like, oh, yeah, I suggest, like, you know, even, oh, yeah, like, other guys are nice, and it's like, stick it up, and bad, like, I'm happy to be one of us, well, I'm just gonna take IP, right, that's, I really kind of think, no, it's just, no, it's not funny, though, it's a thing, yes, the real thing you work out is actually, I know, like, I've written past that, yeah, you see back on that, because that's probably the thing, I think, comfortable, and actually, like, I've had different errors, all times, yeah, I'm not very lucky, what, it's 40 seconds, it's amazing, sorry, I was like, watching you guys.
And then show, let's see here. Okay, do you want to see now? Oh, you guys did? Oh, really excited?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, actually, you want to be trained, shut up. Right, did you want to be trained? I'm trying to say, so I'm talking people. Yeah, I will be that much.
Yeah, I was just reading most of that.
Okay, awesome.
I was
So how long have you been here, please? Okay, hey, Timothy, nice to meet you. We're going to start it in right now. Space Street. We have to music. I'm sorry, you another chair straight up. We want to see our funny students, possible. How to attack you. What's happening? What's happening? What the heck's happening? I get that. What the heck is happening?
I don't know. Okay,
No, okay, let's try. Let's try. So I'm going to give you later. My time is over. I'm hijacking Caleb. I'm going to put you guys back in the meeting. Okay, so I'm going to put you guys back in the train.
Well, I didn't get
No, Anthony is Nicole Anthony, our MD Sesame. So we're off. This is not okay. I'll see you on the.
This is where you select other next to what you can see. You just need to walk accidentally. By the way, I'm going to do a video. Come on, this is not going to go. And we have someone else in our. Okay, we can zoom on. You guys can see that. Yeah, he's in the this JJ. Yeah. Yeah, let's check it out.
Excuse me, I was not me. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Hey, please get out.
That's so weird. I said there was no one joining. Let's see. Is that right for me?
I don't think so. It's not this one.
It does right to me. Can everybody just for a minute put the cameras on just so that I can see everyone? Don't have to keep them on. Okay, I think we all need to be nice though. I don't think so.
YouTube, no joke.
I know it's alright, we were so welcome to continue to listen if you only have positive people. Is that how we're going
People jump into Zoom groups to harass people.
Yeah, and I think that's just what happened.
Do you have the ability to
You know what? That's a good question. I think I do. I couldn't see who it was, so I can't.
Did you know what I do? No, it was not me. It was you.
Oh, yeah, JJ, I'm
I don't know why it's on my screen personally.
This is crazy. Okay, this is supposed to be a public school.
Yeah,
JJ.
it's on me. I'm just putting it down.
So, did you sign? Are you supposed to wait? Did you join? Alright, let's see you. JJ has a chance. I do know what happens when
Yeah, sure, it was on me.
Yes, it was. We'll do that. It's fine. I want to see you back. I think JJ, that's it. My 2020. We've stopped through my whole house.
I'm not doing it because I personally go to the at least I don't know what don't stop doing it.
So, JJ, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, JJ here. I'm sorry, this is I'm sorry, no reason I'm not sure which one positive thing. You're just going to see this now. I didn't. Oh, yeah.
Those are numbers on your ticket around like the 5 for you. Don't pay. I'm not time for your mom. That I think over that time I think you're not saying.
Hey, somebody's going to just body screen on. I'm going to get somebody. My balls, my balls, Guys, let's have some other to each other. And somebody's turn, stop them, before they become clappy nice and the next person will be real. So don't stop, don't say anything. As a matter of fact, if you something they sound, you're see yourself. I'm sorry, but you start yelling, this one will. Hey, everybody! Sorry, guys. I want to say sorry. JJ, I'm not blocking you. I'm sorry. You guys are bothering us. Sorry. I was sorry. When we're clapping, that means they're done. And then somebody else is turn. Is anybody blocks away? Was I trying to do that before? I'll talk about it. Thank you. We need everybody other than the person.
I think Jake is on me.
I've never seen this kind of weakness.
Oh, good. Yeah,
So you got some new people.
yeah, there's Jackson, James. Hey, hold on. You said you can jump off because he's interrupting the singer, so can I get a few more people sing?
Everybody's talking about everybody. This one white guy.
Hey, everybody! Wait, I got a real quick. Sorry.
Great, so Billy, I'm going to support import transition. What was your experience with messaging?
I gotta take about 8 hours a day.
8 hours there. Cool. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to recording in progress. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's presentations. We're going to take on soft J's.
Hey, it's Bobby. Oh, hey, it's Bobby. Oh, very cool. Yeah, a model of modern efficiency. Hey, did you? Oh, sorry. Everybody knows the way this works. You do your own stuff, and then that's it. Everybody gets on, first gets on, and pretty soon everybody's going around. All right, I'm gonna kick it off then. May days always tend to melancholy to the shade. Thanks for me. Well, that's me. Hey, sit down. That's this around. All right, Barbie is next. And from that, let us go to Mr. Bobby. Let's see if I can find you one of these words. I found it. Oh, the run. JJ. All right, sir, you are on. Oh, yeah, I'm so here's three shorts. Is that how it doesn't say this? So you want to that's something. Yeah, no special. Pretty offer, sir. Oh, I said, cool. Well, here are people. This is new son, sir. You guys know each other now. Yeah, like we mentioned. That's why I wanted to go. So you're about to do that. I can't stop you guys. All right, see, one second. I'm just gonna just see one second. I'll just keep slow. This is a big show. We don't want to get that. All right, take it away, sir. Right, so figure it again for it. All right, so I got no folks. Sorry. Right, so first we're going to the crowd goes wild. I assume you were written under. All right, Joe. All right, yeah, we're under Jay. Mr. Joe, take it away, sir. What's your phone? What's on? I don't have the music down a little bit. I don't have to play, so I'll drop this beat. What's that? Mr. Bobby, are you prepared to get running with this? Take it away, sir. What are you so Keep down the profanity here. All right, well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Turn off the alarm, check your phone, go to the bathroom, you yourself what you do during the day. This is a really good option to be able to figure out how to work your list. So you just take a list. Okay, let's take a list.
All right, what do you think?
Go ahead.
You're right.
Yeah, right. You can tell how many I'm just a funny question.
Mr. J, actually, he already.
Tell me your mark.
I'm not sure I'm very good.
Okay. Well, that's the one. Okay. Well, that's the one. So what do you think? Okay, so I'm sorry, sharing myself. So if I got actually fine, right? If I just one.
Just me.
Why are you trying to do first? I told them surgery.
And we're back with some more towers. And we're back with some more towers.
There's still someone who can do that, right? Are you able to today? So, Google Docs doesn't know the DNA on this Google Teams app. Which one is that very sad, like, insights to this? Because people's lives are, that's what Google Docs, it's like, you gotta see it to go trying to get this every week. So, like, he says, stop talking, he says, stop talking, because everyone's saying true. Like, I did that for every video, and you, that, like, actually, like, I'll say a copy of the previous version. So, sorry, I forgot to turn off the speech anchor, but
blink, easy blink. Welcome to the Commentary Show. Guys are doing well, so having a wonderful day on this, oh, nice. On this, 19th April 2025, happy Easter. Gonna go to my father's house. First stopper. Yeah, that's pretty much it, so. Guys are doing well. Not in the best mood. I'm gonna sound like a complainer, but, you know, you guys know what's going on in my life, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so. Key fuck. Making sure that we're having space for 2 missions. Because if I don't play right now, I'm not going to be reaching 35. Okay, so. I at I completely forgot that today's Saturday. So basically, I have to stop because I have to go to my father's house in about 30 minutes. Okay, and we have to do the tournament. Shit. Thank God I checked. Thanks for loading those. If I didn't read the guild chat, I would have not known. My one workshop upgrade. Good. Oh, dude. I wasn't finished with the 2D. I wasn't finished with the energy shield. I forgot about that. Two. Okay. Ouch. Open. Okay. That's you. Where's the controller? It's okay. Okay. There you go. Found you. Okay.
Okay, bye, guy.
Dr. V.
26 years old with a gorgeous face and a great figure. But she was convinced she could look even better with a little help from the doctor's knife. It was a deadly mistake. Cosmetic surgery has become so commonplace that people forget that it comes with risks, just like any other operation. You just don't hear about the times when things go horribly wrong. I should caution you that what you're about to see shows that increasing your cup size or smoothing out your thighs can be terribly disfiguring, but it can also be so much worse.
Oh, hey, Stacey, you forgot about me, okay? She looks up. I don't even see you up in the boobs, okay? You looking good. You look hot. Look at Snatch. Woo! Oh my gosh, look at this. My what's up? Welcome back to another video. I hope you all are having a great day today. I just want to go through the tell-all, and I'm not impressed for a number of reasons that I'm going to go through in the video. So first and foremost, why involve Darcy in Stacey's drama constantly so that she can just use that money for plastic surgery?
So 4.
Present day, she's in Turkey getting more cosmetic procedures.
Beautiful Gianna, you got your girl Darcy here. Your mom's honest with this for you. She loves you with all her heart and soul. So do I. So does Stacey. That's her besties for life. And sorry about the face tape right now. I'm in Istanbul, Turkey. Just had a little brow lift. Surgery's not doing good. So I hope that doesn't scare you or anything. So my apologies, but I'm doing well.
Okay, obviously, Darcy, you're not doing well. It's actually to the point where you have to flee to Turkey to get cosmetic procedures because you were cut off by doctors here in the United States of America. I'm sure Gianna doesn't feel good knowing that her mom's cameo money is going towards feeding an addiction.
Getting ready. Dubai ready, baby. Yes, only at our favorite place in Miami, Skin Spa, New York. Got the former treatment today. Feeling snatched to the gods.
Just because the surgery in Turkey is cheaper, that doesn't mean it's better. The fact that a doctor operated on the twins in the first place is so unethical. Almost like a bartender that keeps serving a drunk person shots despite knowing that they're blacked out or about to black out. And the worst part is that they're that super rich, so even without fans' cameo money or the TLC checks, the twins would still be throwing bands towards looking snotched. They have lived a very nice Super Sweet 16 life.
Nice.
That show. I could see them throwing a birthday bash in Connecticut, acting all snotched.
If I do call him, later on in the evening, it's usually for me venting about something that happened with me and my relationship. It's not, I feel like I can open up to him for, and he tends to be a good judge of character and be a good, ear to listen on for me when I vent and open up to. Stacey sometimes doesn't want to be bothered, so.
At what point is Cassandra, Darcy, going to stop going under the knife? Because it's at the point where she's uncomfortable to look at. I just look at all the money that they've spent on cosmetic surgery and think to myself, imagine how many Pokemon cards